Welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
If you like a lot of wrestling on YouTube, join our cult. Hello and welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast, starring yours truly, Mr. Maffew Greg, with the Christmas jumper. That is Mam got him, the Home Alone one. That's right. And Ross Tweddell, clearly enjoying Christmas to the fullest.
This is burgundy. This is the original colour of Santa Claus. This is before he was green, and then before Coca-Cola made him red.
That's very true.
Once again, Ross has annihilated us in the opening minute of the Cultaholic Podcast. But also, not to be left out, Jack is here with a little friend.
The little friend's a bloody beer, Maffew, because it's been a long couple of days. Lots of content to be produced and all that for the festive period, because when we're not here, we can't make videos, so we're doing them all in advance. Got myself a beer, but I waited to open it on camera because I've realised that in our kitchen, either myself or Owen has brought home a Cultaholic bottle opener. So that's, that's good, isn't it?
And where have you bought that from, Jack?
That will be available on... I've forgotten the URL of the shop.
Cultaholicshop.com.
Thank you, Ross. Cheers.
Tell you what, Matthew, when you said Jack's here with a little friend, I started thinking about Jack's Willie for the first time in my life.
Oh,
Mine
God.
went there straight away.
Fantastic. I meant Owen, but whatever. Disgusting, the both.
He's a cock as well, isn't he, Owen?
Yes, but he's our cock.
He's the cock of Cultaholic.
Should you be saying that? Isn't he in the other room listening in?
No, he's in the other room, but you're not listening. Richard Tubman's
He's hard at work.
DJ Richard Tubman's on the ones and twos for this podcast.
Oh, I see. Well, better talk about the rest of the news then. As much as people like to talk about dicks the entire time, as that podcast 2 weeks ago was anything to go by. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch's kid has been born and has, of course, been called Roux.
Roux. Roux.
Is it Roux, is it?
R-O-U-X.
I've been saying Roux.
So have I. Like Lash LaRue and that lass with the ginger hair. Going in for the kill. Doing it for the thrill.
LaRue. Yeah.
Is that LaRue, is it?
Yeah, that's Roux.
That was awesome. I was going with the Jeremy Borash calling Robert Roux. Roux! So, good for them. Ryan Satin, of course, making friends on Twitter by suggesting that perhaps, possibly, Seth Rollins should swing the kid by the umbilical cord like the briefcase at WrestleMania. Not the briefcase, the title at WrestleMania.
Really funny tweet.
It went over well, didn't it? Went down like a cup of sick, as Josh Bell says.
We've all tweeted stupid things that we've regretted, but because we've been convinced that it'll either go down fine or it'll be funny, or both. But I don't think I've ever tweeted something quite as immediately concerning as that one from Ryan.
Do you not think, though, that if someone else had said it, it would have been funny? But because it's Ryan, and we don't necessarily have anything against him, but he's just one of those people where if he says something dumb, you're like, oh, boys, let's make fun of him.
No, who's really good at Twitter? If Chris Brooks had tweeted that, I'd still be a bit like... The only person who could probably get away with it is Mad Kurt, because people would just think he was being Mad Kurt.
Americans wouldn't have liked it.
No.
But, no, Chris Brooks would have got away with it because he would have put it on a shirt.
Did Mad Kurt actually get $1,000 from Ziggler?
I assume if Mad Kurt tweeted it, it didn't happen.
No, I
say
think
that.
Ziggler, I forgot what the interaction was a few weeks ago, but Mad Kurt was like, I want to become charge more than The Undertaker did on cameos. He's like, can someone pay me like, was it $1,000 or 1,001 for something? I'm sure Ziggler must have sent him an actual PayPal. Unless I've been worked. It's potential, with it being the wrestling and whatnot.
Again, Ross, sometimes it pays to be cynical. Again, if Mad Kurt said it, it probably didn't happen. The other news this week, Bobby Fish got a little bit of a laceration on his elbow after War Games, and also, Candice LeRae, a possible broken arm, says here. As of the time of doing this podcast, we don't know what it is yet.
Didn't Bobby Fish say during NXT that they were reattaching his bicep to his arm?
I thought he had triceps surgery. Something with his arm, yeah.
Yeah,
something
they were
bad
reattaching
happened.
something.
I thought that was his part of his procedure every time he had an NXT Takeover match.
I think either it's real and we hope he's all right, or they've exaggerated it to emphasise how dangerous War Games is. But either way, yeah.
CM Punk says he's open to returning to wrestling. and not just for AEW, but would also consider coming back to WWE, but it would have to be for an S-load of money, which is almost surprising to hear, me being one of those guys who wouldn't, even back in the day when people go, oh, he'll be back, and me going, no, CM Punk will never return after what they did to him. CM Punk be openly going, yeah, but, quote, I feel like an S-bag, even saying that S-ton of money thing, but on the WWE side of things, let's be honest, there's baggage, right? There's stuff that's going to be worked through, so I know how you get there, I really don't. But, maybe he's looking at the likes of Goldberg and Edge and thinking, yeah, they're going to pay me $2 million, sure.
Did you watch the snippet Renee put on YouTube? Because I watched it, and it was very evident to me, because I'm an expert in body language and mannerisms and stuff like that. I did psychology at A-level and got a C. CM Punk's moved on. He couldn't give a toss about wrestling anymore. I know he appeared on backstage and whatnot, but the lack of enthusiasm when he was speaking, you can tell it's just like, oh, this crap again. And he swore there, this crap again. Let's just give an answer and create a few headlines. I think he's moved on. I think he's past it. He sang with more oomph. He sang a song to his dog with more sort of like enthusiasm about him. He sang a morning song to his dog, Larry. I love Larry the dog.
Oh.
What did he sing to his dog?
I forget what it's a custom song. It's an original piece by CM Punk about how he sleeps next to Larry and wakes him up, and then Larry goes for a poop, and I don't know. It rhymed though. It was quite good.
Was he a good singer? Because I remember when he did that Chicago song. Okay.
No. Unless Larry just...
He had it coming. Oh, that one, the Chicago song.
No, the Chicago song he did in Vegas to get heat. My hometown. And I wondered if he was deliberately singing badly because he was a heel to be annoying, or whether he couldn't sing.
Yeah, I reckon he was singing that Larry could hear.
Yeah, I reckon he was singing badly there just because he couldn't sing.
Right.
Yeah. If you had a dog, what would you sing to it?
All of the lullabies.
God, that's a difficult question, isn't it? Who let the dogs out? By the Baja Men.
Would you woof at them?
Hopefully they would do that bit.
Oh, I'd see you go, who? You get the microphone, who let the dogs out? And the dog go, woof, 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 woof.
I can't have a dog ever because I'm badly allergic, sadly. But I am more of a cat person, which I know Ross is going to think I'm a soulless for that. But I just love cats. They're great. No.
I've never met a cat. I thought I'd like to take you home, pal.
Really?
I thought that were many dogs.
It's weird how dogs and cats just appeal to different people, I suppose. I find cats adorable. They're not very loyal. They don't like you as much as a dog does, obviously. But
they're shifty to me. Every single cat I've ever come across, I don't know if this is just me, but they've always been very shifty and very sort of sly, not very welcoming. I've always thought there's an agenda going on inside that head against me for whatever reason. I've never got that impression with a dog.
Yeah,
fair
I know what Ross means. You say a dog, come here, and he goes, all right. Comes over and you give a bit of a stroke and you feel good. You say a cat, hey cat, come here, and he goes, yeah, for another $5,000.
It's the CM Punk of the pets world.
Yeah, for an S-load of money, I'll come over there and let you feed me. Not much else happening. It's just speculation and people saying Charlotte Flair has heat and blah, blah, blah. The only other news, I guess, is Rich Swann versus Chris Bay. It's going to headline the Impact Wrestling show. It's coming up this weekend. That'll be the second time in history. It's called an African-American wrestler taking on another African-American wrestler. The only other time was Rock versus Booker T, SummerSlam 2001.
When you said this off camera, I thought you meant in Impact. Is that ever?
Yeah, the only one for one, they were going to do Booker T versus Lashley at, what was it, No Mercy 06, I want to say? Yeah, that'd be right.
Seriously,
and they changed it to a four-way the last minute, but got cold feet, So
this is the second time ever the two African-American wrestlers have headlined a pay-per-view. That is mad. It's
a fantastic commentary on the professional wrestling business as a whole, isn't it?
I forget which wrestler said it. Actually, I remembered who it is, but I don't want to say who it is. But they made a good point, despite them being a wrong one. In every other sport in America that's not predetermined, it's like there's black guys at the top. More often than not. Golf, basketball, baseball, there's always like loads of black guys. Only in the predetermined sport of wrestling, it's always the white guys at the top. It's like, funny that, isn't it?
Yes, it
wow,
is.
racial commentary, Matthew, fantastic. Well, please let us know what you think about everything.
I just agreed.
You expect us to go, no, Matthew, you're being very cynical there, Matthew.
I can hear people going, what are you talking about, you stupid white Brit? I thought you were talking about something else.
Matthew, you're wrong. The white man has been held down for too long. No, obviously, Yes, I agree with you.
It's not their fault Batista's better than them. Anyway, we'll move on before people are like, hey, all right, stop talking.
Batista's half Filipino, I think, or something. He's dual nationality, definitely.
Yeah.
I
like on the Batista DVD they put out, one bit in Triple H, Triple H comes out and goes, hey, at one point in time, Batista decided he was Filipino.
Oh, Triple H
on the DVD they said it. Yeah, one day Batista goes, I'm Filipino.
No.
And then goes to Virgin Batista hanging out with little Philippine people going, yeah, I'm half Filipino. And Triple H going, yeah.
What? Triple H thinks it's worked. Batista's Filipino background.
Batista just in bed anyway. I'm Filipino. Anyway.
By the way,
wrestling races and all the other things were like, go on.
Just when you talk about the Charlotte thing, I think the implication was that Charlotte's win over Rhea Ripley and then her subsequent NXT title run has caused heat between the creative staff in NXT and in main roster WWE. I think that's what was being said.
Yeah. I'm just kind of sick of reading these things on news websites where it's like possible heat between something that we can't actually determine or give an interview over anything.
You never know.
I have breaking news. Apparently Monday Night Raw is being quickly rewritten minutes before it goes on air.
That's like every week.
Every single week it's reported in the news. Well, not much happening there, so let's quickly move on to the Hall of Fame.
Everybody get excited for the Cultaholic Hall of Fame.
Now it's time for everyone's favourite segment, the Hall of Fame. In condescending order from last week, Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. 8%. Bastard.
Wasn't very good.
Toblerone, 33%. But at a clear winner, 59%, which still isn't as old as he is. Sting! Fantastic. Well, could have seen that one coming, I guess. Clearly we don't know our audience at all. And it's funny, actually, though. Isn't our demographic like much younger people than us? Do we know our demographic age? Yeah.
That's
how
mixed.
great his reputation is. The majority of people voting on these things weren't around for Sting's golden years, but he has that reputation, that big uppedness.
We have some older viewers.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look at them because they're on the back end on YouTube, like who watches where and how old they are. But then again, on YouTube, I don't know if you lads did this, but when you were under 18, of course your YouTube account said you were 18, so you could watch all the naughty videos.
Aye. Yeah.
So maybe it's not very accurate. But I'd be interested to see.
It's like in Monty Python Life of Brian, you go, are there any kids here? Yeah. No. So, yeah, well done, Sting. And I imagine that was you, Ross, who picked that last time.
It was I.
Oh, fantastic. You get to go first then.
Wow, what a bloody privilege. I was in Morrison's again on Tuesday night in Biker. I thought I'd go back at the scene of the crime. The crime that was a man shouting at me in the midst of a very busy self-checkout service area. And I couldn't believe my eyes. I walked in, and in the Biker Morrison's, you've got the meal deal section at the very front of the shop. And I was thinking, I can't be asked to cook anything for tea. I'll get myself a meal deal. And there was a guy there perusing, having a browse at the sandwiches. And you'll never guess who it was.
Oh my word! I can't. I'm on the edge of my seat.
It was
Can I have a guess first?
Go on, have a guess. Go on. Then.
Was it Norberto Solano?
It wasn't Norberto Solano. There was no trumpet in sight.
Maffew,
I was going to say Norberto as well, so I'm out of ideas. No.
Oh.
No, I think Ross is going to say that it was the guy from last time he brought up the story.
It bloody was, Maffew.
No.
It was insert name here, Irish man who shouted, WTF moments, King Ross, what culture, as loud as he could in the self-checkout service at Morrison's. But this time, he turned around and he was like, oh, Ross, how you doing? And I was like, yeah, I'm not too bad, pal, how are you? He's going, I think you must have been a bit busy last time. I didn't get to speak to you. And I was like, yes, that was the reason. Yes, that was definitely the reason. Yes, it was. And then we had a nice little conversation. So I felt terribly bad about the first interaction. And he also said, he confirmed that he doesn't watch Cultaholic because he said Jinder winning the world title was the final thing for him. It was the final straw. So he stopped watching wrestling. And I got his cousin blocked by JBL because JBL mentioned me and him in a tweet, and JBL blocked the cousin because of that, because they mentioned me in the tweet, which I think is harsh on JBL's part. But we had a nice conversation, and I walked away from that 3 minutes back and forth thinking, wow, I was a bit of an arsehole. No, well, yeah, maybe I was an arsehole on this podcast running this guy down. But then again, he did shout at me in a very loud manner in the middle of a very busy Morrison's. But since he pulled it round and turned my perception of him 180, I'm going to go for nameless Irish man from Morrison's. for this week's Hall of Fame because it was a nice conversation. We spoke about wrestling, we spoke about his cousin, we spoke about What Culture and Cultaholic and how that came to be, and I was like, I should give it a watch. And I was thinking, maybe don't go too deep. See me running you down, but it turns out he's a nice guy, and I hope I run into him again when I go back to Biker Morrison's.
That's a heartwarming tale.
That's lovely. You hope you run into him again in your Ford Focus. That's nice that you return to the scene of the crime, and it turns out that, it is a bad idea to go to the scene of the crime because it's dangerous. And that guy apparently waited weeks for you to come back.
Well, I think it was actually...
Fry's dog from Futurama. He was there waiting.
It was a Tuesday the last time I went, but it was around 7 p.m, I think it was. But this time, it was around about 5:30. So I was thinking, well, it's a Tuesday. It's a bit earlier. Maybe I'll not see him there, because this is the first time I've been back to Morrison since it happened. I was too scared to go back, just in case he was loitering there again. But my heart dropped, and Ellie turned around and walked out, just in because that's how pathetic I am. But no, thankfully I braved it. I faced my fear. Which was the Irish man in Morrison's, and it turns out he was nice. But the thing is, this time, he was dressed, maybe it was just the fact that he was in his business attire, because the first time around, he had a nice dress shirt on and slacks. He was clearly dressed for an office job, whatever that office job was, but this time he had dirty sweatpants on, he had horrible muddy trainers on, and he looked like a right state, but he's...
He's been sacked for what he did to you. His boss is a fan of the channel, and he thought, I can't be having this lad on my books.
Are you the one Irish man in Newcastle upon Tyne?
It'd be great, actually, though, if he's actually a secret agent. He's told, this Irish man is dressed like this, and this. There's people in the KJB listening going, we found him. Biker Morrison's the guy. That's very heartwarming, Ross. In a completely non-cynical way, it's actually nice that you had that, that bit of trauma, and instead of going, never go to Morrison's Biker again. You went, no, sod it. I'm gonna face my fears and do it and get over that.
Are you being sincere here or not?
I'm genuinely. I know I have one tone and it's miserable, but I'm being genuinely hand on heart, trying to be serious for a second. Well, as best as I can. It's nice that you went, all right, I don't like those situations, and I know maybe if the same thing had happened to me and I felt a bit upset about it, I would struggle to go back to that exact same place, the exact same situation, in case the exact same thing happens again. And would you believe it? It did. But you have, mate, and that is a very strong way of overcoming trauma and things like that. So I'm glad that you've come out of this feeling positive and not scared anymore. It's
kind of like when you sync up your bladder with someone at a house party or in a nightclub, and you end up bumping into them in the toilet again and again over the course of the night, and you just have to think of more things to talk about. So what happens the next time you see them?
That has never happened to me before.
Has it not?
Has that happened to you?
Yeah. And then you make the joke like, oh, God, we're here again in the toilet. People will think that we're together. What?
Yeah.
That's not...
And they're like, yeah, what a coincidence. What's Pachiti like?
I've asked the DJ to play Dolph Ziggler's theme. You're gonna love it. Cheers, pal. Thanks, mate. Cheers for that.
We've got to hold on to what we think Roman Reigns or SmackDown. I miss that. I missed last time I did that was February. Jesus.
No, but I miss nights out. I'm not being on one for. Oh God. Anyway, I like that story. I like that story, Ross. But what's the conversation gonna be if you see him again?
I'll tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be him smacking me in the face after he's gone back and watched the podcast, because he didn't know that Cultaholic was a thing. As he said, he stopped watching wrestling. And what month was it in 2017 when Jinder was like September time? Was it or something like that? Yeah, it was
autumn.
So yeah, Cultaholic launched a couple of months later. I think we might have been still working at What Culture when Jinder won the title. So you might have gone back a few podcasts and seen what I said. And he's on the hunt for me now.
I love that of all the things to make someone stop being a wrestling fan, it was Jinder Mahal's title run.
That was the final straw for him, he said.
He actually did #cancel WWE Network.
Yeah. Well, from that lovely heartwarming story that we already know is going to win, it should. Jack, what have you got?
So in lockdown, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but I found myself watching a lot of just very obscure content on YouTube and Netflix and whatever, just because there's nothing to do. So you take in some weird stuff that you wouldn't normally watch. But one of the things that I've watched and realised has a huge fan base behind it when I tweeted about it is, now I don't know how to pronounce his name, I think it's Yelly. It's Jelle. I think he's a Dutch man. Yelly's Marble Runs. Right. This is a YouTube channel based around once a year. He does a massive marble competition. He's built these different marble Olympic.
Is it on the beach?
No, there's one event that's like the sand race or whatever. So there is one that I think is on the beach, and it's all built around fictional teams of marbles. And everyone gets really into it and supports the team like it's their own team and gets really competitive in the comments about it. My team is the O-Rangers. I'm a big O-Rangers fan. But I've been since told that apparently they're like the Man United of the marble world. So I'm being a bit of a glory hunter here, which is devastating. But I can't go back now. I've picked my team. I can't turn on them. And then I tweeted that. I said, just want to say that I'm an O-Rangers fan for life. And then this fan account popped up, which was the official account of the Rangers, this marble team. They were like, great to have you aboard, Jack. I'm like, what's going on? And then all these other people are commenting saying, nah, you want to support the Speed Demons instead, or the Mellow Yellows. And I'm like, oh my word, what have I caused here? But everyone gets right into these marble races. Cannot wait for the 2021 Marble Olympics. Absolutely fantastic. So mine is Yelly's Marble Runs. I think it's Jelle. Yelly's Marble Runs.
Jell.
Have you searched it? Have you searched it there, Maffew?
I've had a quick look there as you're talking about it. Looking at things like the Tumult Turnpike, the GP. I think
they
you've even
F1 as well.
undersold this.
They do
because
F1.
There's genuine. When he says there's marble runs, I mean, there's bits when there's just wooden bits. I don't know, like the Crystal Maze Aztec stages, and then I'm looking at one there where it's a full blown made. Grand Prix F1 style thing, and it's marbles like the balls.
It is addictive as a sport to watch. It's addictive because at the start of lockdown, me and my girlfriend were just sat in the flat one night, and I was just looking at my phone, and I came across it was one on the beach. This guy just setting off. It was like maybe 16 marbles, I think it was. He just sets them off down this track that he sort of dug out in the beach, and down they go the hill, and then someone wins at the end, obviously. And then me and my girlfriend just spent the entire night watching marble races. It was just you get into it like. Maybe it was one of Jelly's asshole back in the day.
Might be one of Yelly's. It was
Jellies.
You can't handle this Jelly.
They've also got like an official, like a proper commentator as well, who's got a proper voice for it and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, there we go." He's keeping track of everything, and they got league tables. And then what's he called? He's the British bloke, but he's in America. He does that talk show where he just exposes like FIFA's corruption and wrestling and stuff. He's done as well. What's he called? John Oliver. He is sponsored this year's season of it, but I think it's finished by now.
Wow, that looks like a good way to kill a few hours.
Yeah, that's primarily what I've been. Yeah, but now I'm a
time hole.
Big fan of the O-Rangers. I might get myself some O-Rangers merch. They're called the O-Rangers because they're orange. And
really,
I might get myself some O-Rangers merch and just wear it on a video, and then there'll be like 3 people in the comments like, ah. So I'm a fan. So mine is Yelly's Marble Runs. Both of you seem way more interested in this than I thought you were going to be.
Wow.
I thought you were both going to be like, whatever.
Well, I'm like you. When you get stuck in a rut of like, Raw, SmackDown, you like go and try something else to stimulate your brain or something new to find out, like trying to learn how to speak French on Duolingo, for example. And I've got into stuff like Josh Revell, who just name dropped twice on his shows, is F1 videos. From this wonderful world of all the crazy drama that goes on in F1. That's been something I found out. As well as the people of the N64 mod community had some sort of competition during lockdown and decided to make different levels on Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh.
So put Banjo-Kazooie in GoldenEye and all these other little competitions just because, like, well, we're all doing lockdown, might as well do this. Which really makes you appreciate. There's all these people making marble races and Banjo-Kazooie and GoldenEye mods. And we're here talking about wrestling.
So did they make, like, Facility in Banjo-Kazooie, or did they make Banjo-Kazooie in GoldenEye?
No, they made made a level for Banjo-Kazooie to go in and collect notes and things.
In GoldenEye?
It's GoldenEye, then Facility.
Oh my god, the iconic too.
Yeah.
Facility as well.
It looks lovely.
Facilities, what a level.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's not my pick for Hall of Fame. I thought I'd just talk a bit. My pick for Hall of Fame, that's a murderer's row this week, God. My pick for Hall of Fame was, I didn't see it live, because I'm trying to keep a normal sleep pattern. I hate the idea of getting up late, even when there's lockdown. There's no reason to. The Twitch thing. Impact airs on Twitch. And this week they had a big upspike, as we'll get into later on in the week of wrestling, with Impact Wrestling showing up. Sorry, AEW showing up in Impact Wrestling. That's not the thing. It's not the Hall of Fame. The Twitch chat supported by someone that got their copy-pasted the status around. Apparently the entire night was full of AEW fans and Impact fans yelling at each other like it's West Side Story.
Who are Impact
Like,
fans?
boo, AEW sucks, boo, Impact going, oh yeah, well, I know, right? Of course. Apparently this was the entire night on the Twitch chat with up to 50,000 people streaming it. So God knows what that looked like. And then during an advert, they all quieted. They all had an armistice, like we're having a Christmas thanks to Bojo. They all quieted down and united because they aired the Steiner Math promo. And apparently the entire chat stopped fighting, turned around and just started quoting it ad nauseum. And apparently like minutes later, when there's a match on, there's proper wrestling, people are still going. It's like, chat, at sacrifice. And all the other lines. And I like the idea of Scott Steiner bringing peace. Just be the power of math. So mine is Scott Steiner cures Twitch.
Nice.
For like 5 minutes.
I briefly meant to mention to you, actually, before we summarise the picks. On a graded episode last week on Dynamite, do you know when the Acclaimed showed up for the first time? And I mentioned them in graded. I was like, oh, the Acclaimed, Matthew's told me about them on AEW Dark and all that. And then apparently there's a little community of people who the AEW Dark chat on YouTube is like its own little group now.
Oh, okay.
Like, so they all have their own in-jokes and stuff. And apparently they've nicknamed... Who's the one who's on the mic? Like the mouthpiece of the Acclaimed? It's not Anthony Bowens, it's the other one.
It's the other one.
Max.
The good one.
Max.
No, it's a joke. I love Andy Bones.
Max.
Power.
Aye. Max
I
Power.
forgot his name, sorry.
Oh no, what's he called again? Platinum Max something.
Max Caster. It's nearly Max Power.
Max Caster. Apparently on the AEW Dark chat, and I disagree because I think he's very good as well, but they've nicknamed him Yawn Cena. That's very sad. Ross liked
Wait a minute,
that
the
one,
AEW
though.
Dark fans, so they watch it every week.
Yeah, but they've
And so
called
far
him...
he's been on AEW Dark every week,
They've called, apparently when he's on screen in Dark, and the chat all just fills up with Yawn Cena. Yeah.
Right.
Because he raps. Rippety raps.
Yeah, but yawn would imply that he would sing him to sleep with abject
That's
boredom.
the thing. That's the thing. I think he's good.
AEW Dark chat needs to step up. Come on, man.
But that, thanks to whoever,
this will make him work. Impact Wrestling fans are better. There we go.
But thanks to whoever commented that on my graded video, because you've given me an insight into a world of the AEW Dark chat, which I've not yet checked out live, but sounds interesting.
Just bubbles and bubbles in this place, isn't it?
Did we see the big news on our Twitch thing this week? I don't know what it means, but our little Andrew, who is the guy, Maffew, who looks like Adam, but smaller and happier and bolder.
Do you think so?
He could be Adam's son, for all I know. He could be. Adam might have had a one-night stand in Yorkshire, and Andrew was the result of that one-night stand. He got raided, whatever that means, by Adam Cole.
Oh, baby.
Oh.
And he was sad that he was speaking about on Monday morning, was it whatever day it was, I went next door and I saw him from a distance, by the way, before you comment, don't calm down. And he was speaking about it and he was getting red in the face and he was getting a little bit sweaty. The excitement on the guy's face was adorable. So Adam Cole made our Andrew's day and it was fantastic. Maybe he should be a Hall of Fame nomination down the line, but whatever raided means on Twitch, that's what happened between Adam Cole and Andrew Hodgkinson.
Oh,
you know what?
That's nice. Well, a raid, for people who don't know, is when you're streaming and you're going to log off and do something else. You send all the chat to somebody else's. And this worked great for me one time. Evil Uno stopped his streaming to go, who else is streaming? Oh, Maffew will do his thing. And they came in. Generally, as I've learned, I've asked some people on Twitter, it's considered a good thing if you know them and they're all right with it because, you know, it's going to work well. Sometimes it doesn't go too well with people. Apparently, Pacitti they closed their stream one time and they bothered poor Kip Sabian. Kip Sabian, I don't know what game or whatever he was streaming, but maybe because Pacitti said so, or maybe just because the type of audience we have, they just assaulted him with bingo, 2 fat ladies, 22, bingo. And then somebody like, what the hell is this? And he got very mad. So nice. Did Andrew know who Adam Cole was?
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew, he's his favourite wrestler.
He's a wrestling fan.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Because again, I've said this every time. I just think it's adorable how some people can know some things and whatever. But we did the watch along, me and Tom and Andrew. I'm like, all right, Andrew, what do you know about 2000 WF? Nothing. All right, mate.
Well, he's
so
young.
who that guy is? No, who is he? He's Chris Benoit. What happened with him then? Nothing.
Wait, Andrew?
Andrew had no idea about the Benoit thing.
No.
You're joking.
But then later on, he says, "Oh, that referee's Teddy Long. He used to manage Rodney Mack." I went,
So Andrew only knows, his knowledge is only from when he started watching wrestling and he knows nothing before. That's
yeah,
fantastic.
he watched up to 2003 and then just stopped abruptly in 2007.
That is phenomenal.
So
That is mad. That.
that's good.
I think Andrew would have been joking. Oh no, I don't know.
We asked and he was dead serious. I mean, if he's faking it,
No.
then that's. Oh no, don't say that. I thought he was being real.
How does the concept of raiding work? By the way, how does one raid someone else?
Oh, you slash raid and then you
I
do
just caught myself saying one there. How does one raid somebody else?
That would have been grammatically correct. And
What
if
has
you don't
happened to
believe
me?
me, then your Irish friend will tell you next time you're getting a bacon wrap. You do slash raid and then space and then the URL, not the URL, the Twitch name of the thing.
So he's aware. Adam Cole's aware of our little Twitch channel, is he?
Well,
Some of them are. Oh, and a quick note here. I did this to Miro after our stream, and he came in like, "Oh, Cultaholics, oh, fantastic, Cult Cabana, Cult." Oh, Culta. Oh, sorry. No, that's not you, is it? Cult. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't know who that is. No, I don't like Botchamania. I don't like Botchamania. And I was just like, all right, fantastic, Miro, have a good stream. What were we saying, Jack?
there was a bit of background that Owen told me. Apparently what happened was that Adam Cole was doing it back as a kind gesture because Pacitti had raided Adam Cole after one of his streams. And Owen said that he watched the clip to see Cole realise that we'd raided him because Pacitti does numbers on Twitch, Maffew. He's very popular on Twitch because he's silly. So he was doing one of his bingo streams or whatever, and then raided Adam Cole. So like hundreds of people joined Adam Cole's stream. And Owen says that Cole's reaction to this was a little sly smile and then Cultaholic. So apparently Adam Cole was like just doing the scratching our back after a nice gesture by Pacitti. But it was Andrew on stream. Yeah. Lovely moment for him.
Isn't that nice?
It's Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of cooperation, I did that to Triple Jump. And they were like, no, they weren't. No, we're very nice now. And in fact, I've got a video coming up with them soon, and I can't wait for it to come out. And people
are you doing Are you doing that series? What this game means to me?
Exactly, I am.
Don't reveal what the game is.
Oh no, I mean that's half the appeal. So I can't wait for that to come out. But I think
because they asked me to do one of those videos, and I watched a few of them, and I was like, I just don't have that connection, lads, with any sort of game. So I was like, I can't do it. I just felt like an arsehole because I think everyone who works here who's on camera has now done one. Or yours is coming out soon, Maffew, obviously, and I'm the only one. But I haven't got that deep connection with any game. I used to play them because I was bored. That would be my video, 3 seconds long.
Fair enough.
You know what? You should do that and do great numbers. Hi, I'm Ross. I like Champ Man. Cultaholic.
Football Manager nearly made me fail uni. End of video.
Well, that was a nice, long, productive Hall of Fame segment to go over them because you may have forgotten them, like I have. Ross has the return of the angry Irishman from.
Angry's not the word. Excitable we'll go with. The excitable Irishman from Morrison's and Biker.
How bad is that going to read if you look at it the first time going, what? Why is Irish being so important here? It's like, well, to distinguish from the other excitable people at Morrison's, of course. Jack's is Marble Run. Should we say Marble Run or Yelly's Marble Run?
Yelly's Marble Runs on
Yelly's
YouTube.
Marble Run. And mine is Scott Steiner bringing peace to the Middle East via Twitch.
It's anyone's game this week. It's anyone's game.
Well, I'm interested to who wins. But how can you vote for one of these? Oh, don't worry, I'll let you know right now. Please go to patreon.com/Cultaholic and place your votes. And now.
This week in the wrestling. It's this bloody week in the wrestling.
This week in wrestling. Start off with SmackDown, because it was on a Saturday. Roman, Heyman and Jay are in the ring to start the show, but they're cut off by Owens. He says he doesn't fear Roman and challenges him to a TLC match. A TLC. Well, that makes sense. And Roman accepts. They also set up a tag match for the main event. Later, Otis bumps into Kevin backstage and becomes his partner. Ooh. Bayley faces Natalya, but is preoccupied with guest commentator Bianca Belair. Natalya wins with the sharpshooter.
Now, this can't be right. This can't be right.
I'll check again. Bayley loses to Natalya in the sharpshooter.
I've got it in my head now, Maffew, that Bianca Belair missed her cue. Because there's no way in 2020 that Natalya beats Bayley clean. And I know that Bayley's, I think she's on a 9-match losing streak currently, which again makes no sense whatsoever when we're building up Bianca Belair to feud with Bayley. Then maybe she beats Bayley, and it means something because Bayley held the title for 7 million years. But she's lost 9 matches in a row now, with the latest one being to Natalya Clean, and it makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. And I like how we've, at the start of the SmackDown review, by the way, we've skipped over the positive bit and we've focused on the negative bit. Or maybe I did that.
The way we like it here, positivity land. But we'll be coming to the
fantastic.
positive bit at the main event anyway, because that's how all SmackDown start off, don't they? So, yeah, I think this must be surely setting up a Bayley goes crazy after losing, and then she becomes Super Bayley or something.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
It just doesn't make much sense, does it?
No.
Why would you knock Bayley down so far when you've got this brand new world beater on the scene called Bianca Belair, who needs a big victory to her name against somebody notable like Bayley? But when she beats her, when she's lost maybe 10 or 11 in a row by that time, by TLC comes around, does that mean as much as it would have?
Who are you to doubt the booking of formerly great NXT people on the main roster?
I'm a man
Rhea Ripley has words for you, Ross.
I'm a man who tried and failed to be hired by WWE, Maffew.
Oh, what happened with that?
I didn't fill in the application properly. There was a bit. Well, that's obviously the only reason I didn't get hired. There was a bit at the end where it said, like, please fill in your email address and this, that, and the other, so we can contact you to let you know. And I didn't do that because I thought I've plugged my LinkedIn in. I've got all my contacts on there. What more do you need? So I just skipped over that bit, and I didn't hear back one way or the other. And I tried to ring up, and I got to the voicemail service, and I couldn't get through to Vince McMahon or Triple H.
This close, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, you're here though.
I know.
Yay!
I was ready to go, Maffew. I was ready for a new challenge.
I'll see you in America, Ross. See you there.
No.
Vince is
Dude, what if Andrew comes in and he doesn't say anything controversial about any of the wrestlers because he literally doesn't know them? Is Chris Benoit here? It's like, no, Andrew, no. You're retired.
Imagine though, living a life like that where you had no idea what Benoit did.
I don't believe it.
Amazing.
I don't believe it.
Working in wrestling.
I don't believe it. I don't think he has. I think he's taken us all for a ride.
Look, if I'm getting worked by him, then more fair play to him, because I don't know him well enough to know if he's fibbing me. So anyway, we'll pretend that he is. Moving on. We get a Pat Patterson Memorial 6-man tag. Not sure how that works, but let's go for it. Big E, Bryan, and Mysterio versus Zayn, Nakamura, and Ziggler. Big E has new music, and his chalk entrance is back.
Wale.
Bryan gets the win with a small package on Zayn, and they all beat up Ziggler afterwards for fun. Oh, 5 stars then, just for that bit.
I'm guessing Pat Patterson must have been known for getting beaten up by the baby faces at the end of his matches.
There was a Pat Patterson memorial package beforehand, so I guess it might have just been because it was the match after the video package, maybe.
All former Intercontinental Champions as well. That was the angle.
Thank you, Ross. Again,
there it is.
Thank you that not getting signed by WWE. We would have been going, I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't think Big E's bringing the chalk back full time. I just think it was there because when he was Intercontinental Champion, he did the chalk. But this week, he created the cloud, obviously, and he walked through with his mouth open. Why? Oh, the clabbiness.
Like his favourite wrestler, Bill Goldberg. Snorting the chalk out his nose. Oh.
Steady on now, Maffew, you scandalous man. Big E snorting chalk.
Allegedly. Sasha and Carmella have a split screen interview. Carmella makes some good points, saying that she was champion longer than any of Sasha's reigns combined.
Fair enough.
I think Dean Douglas had a longer reign than Sasha at one point. Sasha gives her a title shot at TLC to prove she's better.
I like the delivery of this one. They were both very convincing in their delivery. But Carmella sitting there going, oh, Sasha Banks, it must break your heart. To be a wrestler has been your dream all of your life, whereas me, I looked into this and it's all come so easy to me. And I was thinking this is just Randy Orton and Edge all over again, but with different people.
Hey,
that was the only drawback for me.
best.
Yeah, no, but it's a bit too soon, Maffew, for my liking. A bit too soon. I don't know why I'm speaking like this now, but it's a bit too soon. And I've silenced the room.
I thought Jack was going to say something, but he didn't. It's a false finish. After being screwed by the Mysterios last week, Corbin gets revenge by beating Murphy with the help of 2/3 of the Forgotten Sons.
Yes.
Ooh, how could Blake do this to Murphy? It says here.
Well, they used to be pals.
Can you name who the Forgotten Sons were?
Wesley Blake, Steve Cutler, Jackson Riker. Get it.
Well done,
Put
mate.
some respect on their name, Maffew.
Not Jackson Riker.
Or don't, yeah. The list off the news, apparently he was getting trialled on Main Event this week. Jackson Riker being sort of Elias's groupie? Is that the right word? Or
Roadie.
No,
You know
it's
what?
not like it's
Yeah,
groupie.
it is. Yeah, you know what, Ross, that was it. Say it more often. Say it every week. I hope Aiden puts that in the news this week. That's right, he's the groupie. So apparently, yeah, Corbin and Forgotten... Oh, who cares? Moving on.
Good on Corbin for getting some backup against those dastardly Mysterios. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Ganging up on him like that, the poor bugger.
Yeah. Roman makes his entrance late to the main event tag match. Owens has Jay beat, but Roman breaks up the pinfall and puts on the guillotine, drawing a DQ because he's the illegal man. Roman beats down Kevin afterwards and attacks Jay as well with a chair. There's one little voice. What did I do?
Jay was annoying Roman in the opening promo because he was trying to get in Kev's face and be like, I'll accept your challenge. And Roman's like, he's talking to me. Can you just stop it? So I see what's going on here, but I'm excited. I think they could have a really good match.
I love how conflicted Jey Uso is. One segment he seems to be fully on board, sitting on the side of the table with Roman at the top of the table. Another segment he seems to be sick of this SHIT and he's ready to snap. And we've got to shout out that line from Roman Reigns to Kevin Owens in the opening promo, which it feels weird to do it because we just shot the Culties before this, where I did it there in full as well. I'm going to do it in full again now. Do you want me to do it again in full, or should I just leave it?
Yeah. No, do it. Go on.
Oh, I feel bad now. I feel
Do the thing.
Do the thing. Do the Raw. That was Kenny Omega reference, wasn't it?
I like that one. Thank you.
Yeah, Roman was in the ring running down Kayla Braxton for blowing a big shot at interviewing him, and then when Kevin Owens comes down, challenges Roman Reigns to a fight, Roman's like, he starts sort of like being nice to Kayla Braxton, saying, Kevin, I'm a gentleman. There's a lady in the ring. Grow up. And that was the highlight of SmackDown this week, once again, was Roman Reigns just being, I don't know how much better it can get week on week, but the smarminess of the guy, there seems to be no bounds to it.
I think if you do get signed by a larger company for much more money, we should just copy-paste you saying, the highlight of SmackDown this week was Roman Reigns. You'll be right for the next 6 months.
That was one of the... on the writing team, they have to have people who sort of keep track of consistency. And no, honestly, this is on the application. What was it? They have the punch-ups and all that malarkey. Yeah, they've got people who monitor consistency and plot holes and flaws in the story and stuff like that. And I couldn't believe what I was reading. They do. That is on the actual application for the writer's role, where you need, the team has a person who does that. And
does he have a white stick and a little dog with him? God.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's like, do you have any questions about the job? And you go, yeah, is that real? And they go, no, it isn't. You get the job.
And by the way, having an understanding of storylines and the WWE, like, the product and everything involved is just a plus. It's not a requirement.
Oh.
And I think that's where the issue is, maybe. That the fact that it's not a requirement to understand the wrestlers and the wrestling. It's just a plus. You watched it before? Oh, you have you? Oh, come on in there.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I mean, they want to recruit people who've never had an interest in wrestling for wrestling, like athletes rather than, wrestlers. So, yeah.
Who can you get on Cameo to pretend to be your spouse? That'll make them go, oh, wow, maybe we'll get them on the show. That seems to work all right. Gilberg.
Was spouse the right word there?
Maybe not. Partner?
Oh, you did mean it. Okay, I thought you were trying to say like relative, like you're the son or daughter of someone.
Oh yeah, that'll work as well. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Whichever works, man. Gilberg's me wife, he's me husband, he's me dad, whatever. Just gives a job. Moving on. NXT War Games 2020.
War Games!
I was going to say I didn't give that anywhere near enough the respect it deserved. Jack, what was the name of the show?
I'm really tired. I was really pleased when Ross did it because I was like, oh, thank God, I don't have to do it.
Okay.
War Games! No, not very
We all need to do it in a circle like they did on that video. Do you see that video on social media this week? Where
Yeah,
everyone
and they
did
showed it on the
was-
show as well, so it was
Did they?
nice. Aye.
It was terrible.
Yeah, they're really running that in the ground now, aren't they? So we might as
Come
well
on,
get in
guys. Let's put them to shame. Maffew, you start.
there. Okay, guys, War Games.
War Games.
War Games!
This Sunday.
So much fun.
Black Sabbath, War Pigs. War Pigs! Show started with Team Candice, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Toni Storm, defeating Team Shotzi, Blackheart, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai in a War Games match. It was good. It ticked the boxes, but by the standards, the lofty standards, I guess, of War Games and what has happened previously, this felt more like they decided they were going to have 2 War Games matches, and they booked around that rather than having real legit mega heat. And in fact, they gave just as much build in the package in the video for this match to the tank that Shotzi was building, which was very impressive. Chaos 3, we called it, coming out and doing its little thing at the entrance. Then they did the actual feud of the match. So there was steak here, but not much sizzle. What do you think, Jack?
I liked it. And did you mean sizzle rather than steak?
Maybe I did, but it was good, but it wasn't great.
Okay.
Is that way I mean?
Yeah. I liked it, and I was shocked when I logged on to social media and saw everybody kind of going, didn't really like it. I thought it was really fun, especially when they started. Yes, it was spotty and stuff, but especially when they started doing crazy stuff like Io Shirai putting a bin on her head and jumping off the side of the cage. That was crazy. And I really liked Ember Moon's eclipse onto, I think it was Dakota maybe, onto 2 upright chairs. That was a cool moment as well. But I do sort of understand what people meant. Owen was very annoyed, by the way, when we were watching it, that whenever, in both War Games matches, whenever anybody got a weapon out, all the weapons were under one section of the ring.
Yeah.
They'd all just piled their weapons on top of each other. But I thought it was okay. What did you think, Ross?
Yeah, I agree with both of you. If you looked at it in a vacuum, I just enjoyed these lasses doing some crazy moves and whatnot. But as you say, the story wasn't really there for this match. It was more just to sort of set up Raquel Gonzalez, wasn't it, as the next would-be challenger to Shirai. But I enjoyed it. But as you say, it was the story lack. That's the issue, I guess. Was this the 4th yearly War Games? The 3rd? 4th?
4th.
Now that's the issue we're running into now. We get with all the gimmick pay-per-views is the fact that it shouldn't be the other. It should be the other way around, shouldn't it? We say this all the time about the gimmick pay-per-views, and they should just change it.
Yeah, and especially having 2-on-1 show. Like last year, I remember them pulling off because they had the angles and mid-turns and everything else like that, so it worked. This was good, but again, I think I'll just reiterate, thinking me crapping on the women, which apparently some people think I'll do every week or something. But no, it was good, but the fact that there was 2-on-1 show is already much of a muchness. And Io Shirai was outstanding in this, and I think she was probably the highlight of the match because they tried to get in the match, they stuck the cage, so then she had to put a bin on her head and jump off. Not sure the logic there, but hey, spots. Mm-hmm. It's just the fact that they set up because it was that time of year, and they could have done this match probably been better if it just been a big old 4-on-4 match. So it was good. I'm not being negative.
Raquel got the win, so there was a point to it, I suppose. She pinned the champion, so she's being set up for a push.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And Tommaso Ciampa defeated Timothy Thatcher. Oh, a lot of meat, a lot of pounding here, like, look at that meat. Timothy Thatcher's little cauliflower ear popping open.
How did that happen? I missed how it happened. I just saw the blood there.
I think he just sneezed.
It was one of Ciampa's running little bicycle knees, I think. And it popped his cauliflower ear.
The old knee brace.
It did, and I was so enjoying this match. I was like, yes, look at this. Different style of wrestling, not just doing the usual stuff. And Timothy Thatcher didn't win.
It happens sometimes in life, Maffew. It's how you bounce back from this sort of adversity. That's what matters. Stay strong, my friend.
Oh, you're right. I'm going to have to go to Morrison's next week.
What I will say to Maffew is that it looks like the feud's going to continue, because after the match, there was a big old stare down. So there's hope yet for Timothy.
I was thinking we were going to get together and be tag team partners. I thought that's the way it was sort of like, oh, you're quite good actually, and I quite like to fight with you rather than against you. I thought that's what they were trying to do there. But,
they might, because stuff happened on NXT that we'll talk about, I suppose.
Yeah, he came up to him in a statement and went, "I like your poetry."
Oh, no.
Anyway, any other thoughts there, lads? Jack?
I enjoyed it a lot. It was really good.
A different variety on this card, that match. A different feel to it. It was nice.
Good. I like variety on NXT. Dexter Lumis defeated Cameron Grimes via submission in a strap match.
No more strap matches. No more. Bored of them. How many have we had this year? There's been at least 2. There was Brian and the Fiend at the Rumble.
Oh, God.
There was was there one in AEW? I'm imagining it.
Dog collar match was similar.
Yeah, dog collar was similar as well. It hampers them too much, and they can only do so much in the match. Now I'm just bored of them. Don't want to see.
Why don't we invent a 4-way strap match where there's like 4 branches of the strap coming off?
That belongs on that thing Chegwin used to host back on Channel 5. What was it called?
Naked Jungle.
It's a knockout.
It's a knockout, right?
Oh, I thought you meant Naked Jungle as well.
No,
mate.
it's
Sorry,
a knockout. I think that was Channel 4, wasn't it?
Of course it was.
Getting his willy out on Channel 4. What the like?
Anyway, wait a minute, a 4-way strap match? That's more confusing than Chegwin getting brought up. I mean, how would that work?
There'd either be a circle or one attaching bit in the middle and 4 straps coming off it. I don't know.
God, that'd be terrible. I hope they do it. I hope they do it, mate. That's a great idea. I swear, this match felt longer than the War Games opener for me.
It was too long.
Yeah, this is the type of thing you think would be like, all right, a good 5-minute match. But guess what? NXT criticism. Every match on this show went way too long. And this especially. Again, sound like a negative Nelly, but yeah, variety, yay. And then they give me variety. And I'm like, variety, but not this. No. Yeah. At least Loomis is able to walk around, I guess. So.
Well, strap matches.
But when years ago, when the setting was right, there was a proper blood feud and the heel was trying to get away. Yes, I understand it. But today, the way they're set up and the way they're executed, I know they're obviously hampered because they can't do the gory stuff they used to do back in the day. But just let it go. If you can't do it like to justice like they used to do back in the day, do it. But if you can't, I just don't think they're good. I don't know if that's just me. I don't like them.
Fair.
Yeah.
I feel passionate about it.
Yeah. Johnny Gargano defeated Damian Priest and Leon Ruff to get back his NXT North American title. It's an interesting 3-way match. I think Leon Ruff got to show off some of the stuff he's able to do because God, one of the rare times I've seen a promo package before a match take me more out of it. Like, I was less built up for this than I was before. Because Leon Ruff's just like, I won. Smiley, smiley, smiley. Hello, I'm a good guy on WWE. Hi. You know, I'm like, oh, I hate you. I hate you so much. I hope Damian Priest splits you in half like turkey. And no, they start wrestling. His little stuff that he does, the turning stunner, I think he did. At one point, a bunch of other stuff he did. I went, wow, Leon Ruff's really cool. This will be his coming out party. Then he lost.
Yeah, I thought he was going to win. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. And then we had a bit at the end where Austin Theory returned. A comeback we've all been waiting for. And he dared. He, of all people, desecrated it by taking his mask off and going, it was me, Austin. It was me all along. I'm like, no.
Do you see what he's done there? He's gone, it was me, Austin.
Austin.
Yeah.
Aye, we know it was you, Austin. All right, yeah, NXT. So, Jack, what are your thoughts on this? Because you love Gargano.
What? No, stop it. No, I don't. I feel like I'm in primary school when someone says, you fancy her. No, shut up, man. I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed the first, 2/3, but then the ending, I was a bit more like a lot of the matches, I think if it had been 5 minutes shorter, maybe, it would have been great. But yeah.
Ross? I enjoyed the way Mr. Ruff was taken out of the match, because obviously those things are bolted into the floor really hard. So him being so small, the velocity created by Priest when he threw him like that, which knocked over another wall behind the wall that went down initially, by the way. Whoa, fantastic. But it's Gargano, man. I don't care. Don't care.
Thank you, Ross. It's not just me.
I feel like Ruff should have been out for longer, like CM Punk in 2011. I feel like he should have been out the match for longer anyway, because he was knocked out and taken to the back, and then suddenly he's like, I'm back! And I was like, oh, you're fine then. Absolutely fine.
Like Groundskeeper Willie. Don't worry, I'll save you. You have to do exactly as I... Gets kicked. Hi. That was nothing compared to the main event, though, of War Games. The Undisputed Era. All of them, you know they are. The team Big Pat McAfee. It is Pat, Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Money Lorcan. Whoa, look at all that men in a War Games match. 45 minutes this went. Bloody hell. But these lot have been feuding for a while. Big Pat's had all the time to talk and give it that. Big uns every week. So I was very much invested in that. They got the tables out with the names on. Doing variety with Kyle and Pete. Doing proper catch-can match at the start and just grappling each other. I like that. And Big Pat sold it. He has more expression in his face than all of Undisputed Era have in their entire body, maybe apart from Kyle. So it's fantastic. Him going, oh, spaghettios.
That's a big shout there, Maffew.
Slander.
Okay, I'm calling them rated my channel. So yeah, I enjoyed this mostly up until the very end bit when suddenly Big Pat is kicking out of Panama Sunrisers.
That was the point. It was shocking.
What?
Yeah.
I wasn't shocked. I was like, is everything going to be exactly the same on this bloody show? Sorry, I'll stop running.
No, I thought like it's his signature, not his finisher. I thought that was why it was all right for me. I
think he's used it to finish matches before.
Yeah. But he just the knee predominantly to finish matches though, doesn't he?
I thought the Panama Sunrise was like a super finisher that he goes to when he really needs to put someone away.
Oh.
But I don't know though. I'm not sure. But I like that he kicked out because Pat's going to lose this match. Then he needs something for him to cling on to. And I think he showed everyone how bloody tough he is, you know? But I can see
he's good at the rest. I think he's sticking about. It's not as if he's like Tyson Fury. I think it would have been a bit wrong if Tyson Fury is kicking out moves like that. But
I cannot believe that.
Pat's going to be kicking about, isn't he? I said this on Twitter this week. In terms of celebrity crossovers, no matter who it is, they all need to be held that standard that Pat. Because when he was on his radio show or his podcast, where it was the next day with a neck brace on, we need that understanding. Because I know obviously they're pandering to a different crowd. It was Sadak sat here with our wrestling podcast and whatnot, and I fully understand that. But show us a little bit, you know. And I really did appreciate what Pat was doing. Not only in the match, but like afterwards as well. He's great. I love Pat McAfee.
Wise words there. And yeah, you know what? Full credit to him for selling it with the Joel Gerton and neck brace thing. So well done, mate. I'm turning into an old man when it comes to NXT. And I'm sorry for people who watch it every week. I'm happy for you. I'm not telling you not to watch it. But I just look at it and go, I know what move's going to happen now. I know who's going to kick out of stuff. And it's just not that interesting to me as it once was. And if you guys are enjoying it, if you haven't watched wrestling like half your life like myself, then absolutely knock your socks off. War Games as a whole, the main event, I loved. That delivered, that gave me everything I wanted to, even with that bit at the end. But like Ciampa, Thatcher. But you look at the results and you go, all right, try and guess the year. All right, lads. Undisputed Era win, Tommaso Ciampa wins a match, and Johnny Gargano wins a match.
It's 2018, isn't it?
2018, 2017, 2019, 2020. Like, maybe we do need some... Okay, Ciampa doesn't want to go up the main roster. All right, well, give him a broom. He can sweep up the SmackDown side afterwards or whatever. They do need some change up with some things on NXT.
Because they have tried different stuff, though, because I wonder what War Games would look like if Karrion Kross didn't get injured or something like that, you know? Mm-hmm. Maybe they've been forced to go back to the people they know to fill the more prominent matches on the card.
Oh, yeah, you know what, Ross? I completely forgot that Karrion Kross got injured as soon as they started pushing him. And also, Dexter Lumis got himself injured the exact time they were about using. Oh, and then Finn Balor also got himself injured. So, and you know what? Ignore everything I just...
Ridge Holland. Yeah.
You know what? I forgot all about that. Ignore everything I just said. It was completely makes sense what they're doing.
No, I'm just... whether that's their initial plans or what, because I guess it is a thing that them having the same people at the top of the card, I guess it is an issue that needs sort of addressed. We do need more new faces at the top, but then again, they have had... I don't know how... It's a balanced argument there, Maffew, we've raised there, I think.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on War Games?
No, I think we've said all.
It was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, there's been worse shows this year. Monday Night Raw. Look at that segue. Orton opens the show, but it's interrupted by Bray in the Firefly Funhouse. It's part of the build to Orton versus Fiend at TLC, but Randy wants a match against Bray tonight, and Bray accepts. Highlight of this, even though I do like the Firefly Funhouse bits, probably keep me going as a Fiend fan, was they cut to the arena, and this has been something that I've laughed at and many other people have laughed at. They used to show this for some reason, when they had crowd in, to show people watching the screen going, ooh, look at that. This time they did it, and instead of like other weeks when they've shown the monitors watching it, which they show, right, this time they showed Randy, and he's got his back turned to it. Like, he wasn't even watching it. Which I thought, okay, that was good. That was a nice touch.
I honestly don't know what you say about this in terms of speaking about it. It's a thing that happened.
It certainly was.
The main event happened later, so...
Exactly. Asuka faces Shayna. Is about to get the Asuka lock, but Nia attacks Lana on the outside to distract her. Lana reverses a powerbomb attempt through the announce table, would be number 10, which distracts Shayna enough to get rolled up by Asuka.
I cannot believe this was... Imagine saying back in February when Shayna Baszler was beating everybody inside the Elimination Chamber, that Shayna versus Asuka. And I was thinking, when I saw that match promoted at the start of the show, I was thinking, right, there'll be shenanigans straight away between Lana and Nia, and we'll bugger it off, and then we'll go back to it at a big pay-per-view. But no, we saw a lot of wrestling between Shayna and Asuka. Just imagine going back to February and saying, right, Shayna versus Asuka will be showcased on just a throwaway Raw for the first time. And it's just a beggar's belief how Shayna's been just shafted right down the card and saddled with Nia, and it makes you sad. And is Asuka
still the Raw Women's Champion? Yeah.
She is, yeah.
Well, why is she in the tag division with Lana?
I know. They've made a right balls up with this completely. I just think it's the women's tag team titles. I think they're just something that they don't have any stock in at all. I just think they need to go. We've tried it. The company obviously don't have any sort of they don't want to put any emphasis on it, do they? And I know it's the big feud at the moment, but it's just because the people are just... Nia and Shayna aren't a tag team. Asuka and Lana aren't a tag team. They're all together at the minute. Let's do some things. There's nothing there. Is there? Is this just me being dramatic?
No, I totally
throwing
agree.
the toys out the pram?
No, I think you're right.
No,
Matthew?
I agree with most things you said, but I'm also trying to stay positive after the little NXT thing, so I'll just go, yeah. But it is setting up, though, a tables match at TLC, though. I assume.
Yeah, maybe the stipulation hasn't been out still, has it?
But surely.
The announced table match, whatever. Ricochet decides to team up with Dana Brooke to take down Retribution.
That's how you beat someone. You team up with Dana Brooke, and then you guarantee to win.
Well, Riddle rolls up and is just so wacky.
Sick of it.
Says here.
Sick of it.
Wacky Riddle. Hey, what's he like?
Bro nuts. Brilliant.
You get it. Dana and Ricochet beat Reckoning and Slapjack. You know what? I'll say that again. Dana and Ricochet pin Reckoning and Slapjack.
Of course they did.
Yes, it is Reckoning. There was absolutely no mention of Reckoning's mask falling off within 2 seconds of last week's match, revealing Mia Yim. So I guess let's pretend that they're different people.
She's Reckoning now.
It was reinforced this week, though, because she got one hell of a slap by Dana right at the start of the match. It didn't come off, and it fell off for way less last week, which made me think it was supposed to happen. But obviously not. It was obviously just a mistake.
Yeah.
I think that are they hinting at splitting up Retribution already with this Ali getting angry malarkey?
Possibly, yeah.
Hope so.
Yeah.
So we were really worried, weren't they? Like, oh no, Retribution are going on a winning streak. Matthew's 5 of it might be at stake. Oh no, it's all right, lads. They're back to losing. It's all right. The 5 is safe. The 5 is safe with me, or it will be when Pacitti gives it to me.
I was going to say you need to collect that. God.
I know, but Pacitti is now fully immersed in the world of Impact. He doesn't exist in reality now. We haven't seen him in a year. I think he's like the lawnmower man. He's just actually living in the computer. Anyway, where we at? Later, Riddle tries to also be friends with Jeff Hardy. Jeff loses a match to Lashley, and Riddle helps him out afterwards. I like that match between Hardy and Lashley. They were going to be the Hardy Bros, according to Riddle.
Broetry in motion.
Broetry, yeah.
Do you want one of my donuts? Spare me.
Even Jeff Hardy's like, no.
Yeah, even Jeff was like, that's a bit too out there for me, to be honest.
I don't think it's that bad, me.
No!
I think it's fine. I got a little chuckle when he was speaking to AJ Styles last week, saying you remind me of my pet rabbit.
I think that maybe...
Was this because you wanted to be employed by WWE?
No, it's because
I love that bit with the rabbit that you did on Raw.
Because I feel like the character of Matt Riddle, right? Maybe it's because...
Who?
Well, Riddle, sorry.
Thank you.
When you see him... the thing I always went back to when I thought he was brilliant was he was in the Progress Super Strong Star 16 tournament, and Trent Seven cut a vicious promo on him to start the match, and was like, "Oh, you didn't really cut in the UFC, did you, mate?" And was like making weed jokes and stuff. Just tore him apart. And then Riddle came out and kneed him in the face and won straight away. And I was like, oh, God, who's this guy? This is fantastic. And now he's running around being a stoner, but in a world where stoners can't exist. It's so weird. It's so bizarre. I don't understand.
Maybe be like, oh, it's okay. I'm on that legal weed or whatever. The Val
He's
Venus
just high
Depository.
on life, lads. He's just high on life, and he's having a great time. He's living life to the fullest and pretending each day is going to be his last. So he's making the most of it, and I think it's inspirational.
I wonder why that would be. Anyway, moving quickly on. I was there for that Progress show. It was a blast. That was the main event, by the way.
That was the main event?
Yeah. 5-minute promo from Trent talking about, yo, you suck. You can't get employed by WWE because you smoke that much. Whatever. And then, get kicked in the head. And we're like, yay! Where are we? AJ Styles and Omos are the guests on Miz TV, which is basically an excuse for Miz and Morrison, get this right, to make fun of Drew and Sheamus's accents. Like every other wrestler does whenever they have a feud with Drew and Sheamus.
Yeah.
And show how much they know about Scotland and Ireland in 2020. I was going to say,
they need to watch more of our podcast because, John got his stereotypes mixed up.
Oh.
You can't be calling a Scotsman a sheepshagger.
That's
everyone
Wales.
knows that the Welsh they shag the sheep. The Scottish, they just eat the haggis, don't they?
Yeah.
No,
Toss
fry everything.
You'd think this, but no, I've had other Scottish people tell me, no, that's an insult to certain bits of Scotland.
Get out of town, Maffew.
There's lots of people who shag sheep in the UK and Ireland. There's people who live in the UK and sometimes be in Ireland. It is so weird seeing on this show, they have to bring up the fact that, hey, these guys aren't from here. Hey, I'm Drew Mac. And like, oh, Christ, okay. I drink the Guinness. And like, all right, okay.
For a supposed actor, by the way, The Miz was terrible. I mean, I take the piss, but at least I sort of sound like it when I do me impersonations and my caricatures. But Miz was terrible. Couldn't believe it.
No.
Morrison, I think, fancies himself a bit of an impersonado or whatever. Because he once walked up to me and someone else backstage in WCPW and just started talking to us in an English accent. It was very bizarre. So I think he thinks he's quite good.
What type of English accent, though?
Southern. I think more Cockney, yeah. All right, chaps.
Hello.
No, more like, all right, chaps, how's it going? Expecting us to be like, you've got abs and you're funny? What the hell? But instead we just kind of were awkward and we're like, all right, mate.
You ever seen Jen do her Essex accent?
It's terrifying.
Oh my God, Maffew. It's like she's being possessed by a different human being. It's terrifying.
Very weird.
Oh.
Very strange.
Awesome.
Don't like to think about it, actually.
Last thing before accents, before I move on, bore everyone to tears, is whenever Tom Campbell does an impression of me, I'm scared of how accurate he sounds.
Oh, really?
He did one, someone copied it because he did a video with Andrew, who's getting a lot of plugs on this show. And yeah, it was like, oh, and Maffew's like, yeah.
I've heard Tom,
Maffew.
he does that thing you do where he's like, right there, pal.
Yeah.
Right there, pal.
All right, pal.
I love him doing me. It's so good.
Hey, that's a soundbite.
Hey.
Later we get a 3-on-2 handicap match, which the heels win after Sheamus accidentally hits Drew with a bro kick, after they said that they were definitely not going to feud. So Sheamus and Drew brawl backstage, and are separated by Pat Buck, of course, who they haul on through a table, and they're friends again.
I love this segment because they are like biological brothers, because that's how brothers do the things. Someone makes a mistake, they have a fight to sort it out, they go for a pint afterwards. I love their relationship on Raw. Long may it continue.
Yeah.
Now,
well done at them passing the book.
I've got a wee theory here. So Keith Lee at one point in the show, which I forgot to include in the notes, finds Sheamus and goes, I know what you're up to. You're getting Drew on side, then you're going to turn on him and stab him in the back, and you're going to try and win the championship from him. I think that it's going to be Keith who stabs Drew in the back, and Keith is going to win the Rumble, and Keith is going to go on to WrestleMania. I'm just saying, that's my theory.
Keith wouldn't do that.
Keith would do that. Keith would.
Keith is made of sterner stuff than that.
Nah. He's a man of low moral fibre.
I think that would actually make sense because Keith has been pushed to the side behind Braun, who's now injured, and all the others. So him going, sod it, might as well turn. Get some.
You could say that we forgot about Keith and that we shouldn't forget about Keith.
Oh,
sorry.
Say that.
PTSD.
Keith! Ooh, brilliant.
Kofi Kingston beat Shelton Benjamin, his ECW and Sci-Fi rival.
Wait for this Christmas, by the way.
Oh, really?
Say no more.
It's not me. It's not me and Tom. It's more. We're growing in numbers.
Oh,
We'll
no.
take the charts by storm. We are this Christmas. That's all I'm saying.
Fantastic. I can't wait. So Cedric Alexander challenges Kofi to another match immediately, which then Cedric wins. And Cedric's being almost Jey Uso-esque in his way of like, no, I'm going to ignore what the boss says. I'm going to do this thing. He's that little guy who won't shut it. It's that little dog who can't stop yapping at the big dogs.
There was a bit missing for me because obviously we went off the match last week where Cedric's going mental. He's going, yeah, I'm the greatest wrestler ever. And was it MVP and Shelton in the ring at the time? They were just like, what? There? And that's how the segment ended. And they rocked up this week and everyone's going, aren't we all great? There was a bit missing there. They needed to pull Cedric to one side and have a little word. You're getting a bit too big for your boots, you are, body lad.
Yeah.
Something like that. But that's me liking my storytelling and wrestling.
I agree.
There was a
there,
chapter
Ross.
missing for me.
Yeah. Orton faces Bray in the main event. He hits the RKO and goes to make the cover, but the Let's Go and Bray is replaced by The Fiend. Orton gets choked out in the show.
A fantastic use of the pre-tape. I really like that.
I don't like The Fiend anymore, or feuds associated with The Fiend, because then every feud with The Fiend becomes this. And I know we wanted more characters in wrestling. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe we were wrong to want that.
No. We also said that the Fiend should appear maybe once a month or something like that. Not
yes.
every single week. Opening and closing the show every single week.
Yeah.
Right. There was that one match they had. He made 3 appearances in a Retribution match. And it was the start of the show. I'm like, no, enough, please.
You sounded so Alvarez there. He made 3!
No, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Look, I know I'll do something. I'm not negative here, but I'm not that bloody negative. I enjoyed the Firefly Funhouse segments because they're just odd and bizarre and stick out so much from the rest of the show. And I like that. Because, like I said, a lot of issues with WWE and NXT now, sadly, is everybody acting the exact same bloody way. So I see the Firefly Funhouse and those crazy segments. They don't always work, but they're different. And I appreciate that. And then it translates to them having a match. And then suddenly he's like teleporting around the arena. And I'm like, oh, okay, right. Like in Kane in 98 when he was making fire, like blowing up cameramen with his light, and you're like,
That's why I'm sat here today, Maffew.
oh,
That got me as a kid.
oh.
Ross loves Kane.
I'm happy for you. I don't know what to say. Crap. I like Kane's character. I like him coming out in the big suit, the big red light, Paul Bearer and all this, and I will get you, and all that stuff. That was great. And he'd be like, lightning, fire auger, whatever. Like, Fire Fantasy character was a bit silly, and I'm glad they stopped it.
Okay.
Wow, but you know what? I love Kane. You know what else I like? Kane has wrestled in many different companies.
I see how it is, Maffew.
Go on.
I see how it is. It's fine. Let's just move on.
Oh.
Let's pretend this didn't happen.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Ross. We can go back to unintentional racism if you like.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah, let's not. Kane's wrestled many places. He's wrestled WF, WCW, and Smoky Mountain. He's not wrestled at Impact, though, has he? That's right. The Tuesday Night Delight.
Oh, God.
Impact Wrestling.
Oh, God, are we? Okay.
I mean, I watched the Kenny Omega segment. That's all I watched.
Yeah, I was going to say I had to flick through this. What's the 2 bits of the show that was an important bit? First bit, Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone have paid for an advert to advertise the plug this upcoming Dynamite show tomorrow on TNT. Tony Khan having a hell of a time here, living his dream and doing the thing that I've done many times there. I have just done the bench press for the first time in 3 months, and now I feel like I'm Conor McGregor, arms folded pose there, showing off the guns, and asking Tony Khan, hey, you used to be an Impact, right? Tony Schiavone says, yeah. One night I was at Impact, and then I quit the business for 18 years.
Schiavone's class. Now,
Wow.
since Tony Khan was revealed as the man behind AEW, I've been waiting to see how long it would be until he got properly involved. I know we've seen him in Gorilla shouting at Omega as he leaves with his belt or whatever, but I was waiting to see how long before Tony actually puts himself in. And he lasted a lot longer than I thought, because I thought he wouldn't be able to help himself. I thought he'd be right in there. But you could tell he was enjoying doing this promo like a lot. He was loving it. He's like, I'm a wrestler, get in! Rich of me to say, I know, but...
Absolutely. It was filmed from the waist up to hide his bulge. He was very much loving this. And you know who else was loving this? The main event interview, where Josh Matthews stops by Kenny's trailer, where Kenny and The Don are changing the nameplate on the AEW belt. And they build this up. It was like the most ridiculous thing. Don goes, I've been preparing this not for months, but for years. You think I wanted to come back and do a podcast or just commentate for New Japan? Mwahaha! And explains that it was all part of his elaborate plan, Mr. Bond, and how he's always been setting this up because Don and Kenny go way back when they were kids and blah, 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 the Golden Sheik and all this. And yeah, apparently John Moxley hitting Don Callis to distract him and letting Omega hit him with the thing and win the title was set up months ago, years ago. You fools, you mad fools. And now Kenny Omega is just playing Kenny Omega. He's just playing a parody of himself, basically. Yes, I'm so great. Woohoo, comic books, nerds, Super Mario 64, woohoo. And he says he's going to Lex Express his entire title run, so he's going to be in his little camper van going to different territories. Hopefully Triple Mania will be next in December. Oh, we're in December now. And then he bids us adieu and good night and all that. Yeah. This was camp class.
It was good. The only drawback for me was that there was no announcement, really. Was there? Because they said, we're going to reveal all on Impact. I guess they did reveal the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They're bad lads, aren't they? They're bad lads.
Fair enough.
I thought it was such an inspirational babyface promo. Because for so many years we've had these world champions that people like me and pretty much people like you too as well. It's unattainable for us to be like Ric Flair was in the 80s and stuff like that. But there we have Kenny Omega. Massive nerd. I used to collect comic books, but now I collect world titles. I thought it was so inspirational. It made me think I could be a world champion one day, somewhere. Fantastic stuff.
I've just remembered somebody put on Twitter this week, or was it last week rather, about someone was asked, Nick Gage is doing an interview and he goes, I was there in Japan. We were out a night out. And they started doing karaoke and Kenny Omega showed up. I looked at Necro Butcher and went, my idea of a night out does not involve Kenny Omega karaoke. I'm leaving. And someone taking a photo. And it's just like, it's like almost like, you know, like trying to track someone to get in the expose. Kenny Omega talking to somebody like this, like, la, la, la. And it's just Nick Gage in the background looking at him going, the best. Nick Gage walking in, all right, let's party. And it's Kenny Omega singing Wonderwall. It's like, all right, bye. So yeah, that was Impact. There was some matches on the show. They were all right. Some people have speculated that Impact wasn't told that much in advance. So this wasn't like oh my God, you won't believe the show we have for you today, folks, or anything like that. It was just, here's a show we've made. And there's some stuff. And nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I think some people, there wasn't that much on the show to entice you to watch next week. Unless Kenny Omega's going to show up every week, if that makes sense. They did one tiny little thing when Rich Swann trying to go through the parking lot, and then some guy's saying, no, you can't. You're not on the list. And he's going, I'm the champ. And he's no, this is Kenny Omega. So maybe Rich Swann next week will be like, I'll get you, Kenny. We'll unite the titles. Christ. But right now, it's early days. But you know what? It was interesting. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
So, almost as interesting as the next night on AEW Dynamite, where Don Callis and Kenny Omega did pretty much the exact same promo, but in the ring, arriving at the arena via helicopter. Just in case you're one of those 50k people who saw the Impact stream. And elsewhere, the Young Bucks beat, what's the tag name? Evans and Angelico.
TH2.
What's that stand for again?
The Hybrid 2.
The Hybrid 2. It's so weird seeing the 2 there.
Yeah.
Let's go, is that Tony Hawk's 2? Every time, swear to God. Then the Acclaimed, of course, Max Caster and Bones, tried to jump them afterwards because of the feud, the thing that happened last week. But I chased off by SCU.
And because Matt had thrown Jack Evans over the barrier into them as well.
Salty.
Yeah.
Salty that we prefer Nick Jackson over Matt Jackson, I guess. I'd be mad too.
It's not out yet.
We'll find that out in the future.
Yes, I'm just speculating. Jack, any thoughts here?
You know what? I didn't enjoy the match that much, Maffew. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a lot of impressive stuff. But I said on Graded that often I defend the Young Bucks, but in this case I couldn't. It was too spotty for even me, even indie me. I wanted a bit more story. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well if this had been a Crock and Hall for Stardom, I bet you would have given it 5 stars.
Absolutely.
Yes. Sting interrupts an in-ring interview with Cody and Schiavone and says he didn't come back for Cody. A lot of people say that. He claims that things feel awfully familiar around here and points...
I'm just doing the fake crowd noise that was on top of this segment while you were speaking to Cody, just to try and... My
thank
God
you,
in heaven. Why were they doing that?
It didn't really match, did it? He claims that things feel awfully familiar around here and points to Darby up in the stands. Sting says he's officially signed and plans to spend a lot of time right here in this very ring.
Does he mean in the ring? Yeah, because he was stood in the ring.
That would make sense. He patronizes Cody and leaves. Not like patronizing us, which you can do at patreon.com/Cultaholic. Yeah. And he made Tony Schiavone do it. Do what? Oh, you know, the bit. And he goes, all right, it's Sting. So that was nice, I guess.
But yeah, when he said to Cody, like, I'll see you around, kid, and then left him. And Cody looked rattled, you know.
Well, he would have been. Bloody Cody Rhodes thinking he's Bertie Big Bollocks, and then our Sting rocks up and goes, no, pal, I'm not here for you. You sit down. You're Cody Rhodes and I'm Sting, and we're going to have a wrestling match. I'm terrified, me. That's what I think they're going to have a wrestling match, aren't they?
Yeah, maybe Darby and Sting, though. I don't know.
I think Cody and Sting could do something, as long as there's a crowd there, or a crowd machine. Yeah, Cody. That'd probably get the crowd in, because Cody's really good at that old school style. I'll let me reference a promo from the 80s stuff. That works really well. Apart from that, I'm not even sure I want a match between Darby Allin and Sting. To be honest with you, unless it's just Sting bumping and feeding the entire time for Darby.
He did that big throw, the callback, didn't he? But the line, the only thing that's sure about Sting is that nothing's for sure. And what happened after that all the way back in 1990? Was it 5 or 6 or 5? 5.
What you're referring to?
That when Sting's in the ring with the NWO and he's saying, like, the only thing that's sure about Sting is that nothing's for sure.
Oh, 96, because that's 96. When they got fake Sting.
Yes.
Like, look, we've got Sting. And then, like, the fact that some people believed it was him, he went, you really think I'd do that? Sod you. Then sodded off, didn't wrestle for a year, and was like the second hottest thing in all of wrestling by doing nothing.
Exactly. He didn't speak for an entire year, so maybe that's where we're going to here. And we're buying ourselves plenty of time until we all forget about the potential that is Sting wrestling at the age of 61 and after being forced to retire. Because I was heartbroken watching Undertaker and Goldberg me, and I don't want to go through another game with Sting.
You're right, this is no country for old men, but I like the idea of Darby Allin. Wow, look, it's Darby Allin up in the stands by himself. And then there's Sting also like 2 rows behind him going, oh, you've already got this bit. Oh, I'm really sorry, mate. Like, don't look at us, and just kind of sneaks away. Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
FTR defeat the Varsity Blondes.
Love that name.
And it is a nice name. Obviously reference to the Hollywood Blondes, that Pillman, blah, 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 blah. And Pillman Jr. was in this match. And boy, oh boy, my little feelers in the world of wrestling gossip wondering, did Brian Pillman Jr. do something to annoy FTR? Or did they just not like him? They battered him. They absolutely had their way with little Pillman Jr. and were nice as hell to Griff Garrison. And maybe I'm overanalyzing stuff as I tend to do. This. But they were twatting him, they were swatting him, everything else. It was good times. I love you, FTR. Meanwhile, Hangman accepts Reynolds and Silver as his tag partners for next week as they do the compelling argument. Well, who else are you going to team up with? Fair enough.
He remembered he's got no friends. He was like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. And also, he was like, at the end, it's sometimes wrestling storytelling doesn't have to be complicated, because he was going, all right, I'll team with you, but I'm not going to join the Dark Order. And I was like, well, you are. Like, you obviously are. So, he might. Do you think he will?
He's just an associate, like how Bret Hart was associate with NWO Hollywood.
Not that bollocks.
I can't picture it, me. I can't picture Hangman as part of their thing.
I think them saying he's in it and him not denying it, like they'll take a group photo and he's just there like a meter
Ashley
away
Cole
from
and
them.
Roma.
Yeah. And related to this, Dustin Rhodes beats number 10 from the Dark Order. Afterwards, Evil Uno offers him a place in the group. And you go, yeah, you could be 7.
Brilliant.
And I was like, oh yeah, whatever, drink it. Oh, WCW, yeah. I got that. That was
Nancy
nice
Uncle
little nod.
Fester.
He
Yeah.
could have chosen any other number and Dustin might have said yes, but as we all know, Dustin doesn't like talking about his old bad gimmicks. That
Yeah.
and Black Rain, I think he doesn't like talking about.
Yeah, he absolutely does. And Dustin was like this, that's a good offer, that 7. Well, I got it. And Dustin refuses and slaps him down, but Uno says he'll change his tune.
I can see Dustin in the Dark Order. I can see purple face paint. I can see it. Yeah.
Has he ever won a match with a running bulldog?
Aye, that was weird.
I've seen him do it so many times when he doesn't. He lands on his knees and whatever. It's a classic Goldust maneuver from back in the day. I've never seen him win a match with it, though, have you?
No.
Off the top of my head.
My reasoning for it, and it was tenuous, was that Ten had just been distracted by that little scuffle with Aaron Solo in the crowd beforehand. But he didn't get hit by Aaron Solo. He got pushed by him and then kicked him in the chest. And then got back in the ring, and the veteran Dustin was there. Bang. I thought he was going to kick out as well. It was odd. Especially because he's like the powerhouse of
Yeah,
the Dark
henchman.
Order. Yeah.
Look, he's old. If his finish is a bulldog, that's it. I also like the fact that they announced that they call him the natural Dustin Rhodes, like another throwback to a WCW thing. Do you know what that was? That old theme he had? Yes, they call him the natural.
The theme tune, though.
Yeah.
Do you remember that WWE house show where they pulled a rip? No, he was actually dressed up as the natural Dustin Rhodes, wasn't he? Whatever it was. Was it Starrcade, the first one? When they brought back that gimmick for one night only with the theme tune? That was my first exposure to the theme tune. How naff it is.
I remember that. Did they have... Oh, it was
sure-
like a few years ago.
I'm sure I can picture Goldust dressed as the natural... Because I remember them coming down the ramp to the theme tune. I was thinking, wow, what's this theme tune? And I looked it up, and it is terrible, isn't it?
I have to go check that out. I have no memory of that whatsoever, but it probably happened.
I think it was the first Starrcade they brought back as a house show.
Yeah. Awesome. In a sit-down interview, Shaquille O'Neal apologizes to Brandy for his Twitter feud with Cody.
Oh, man.
And says he respects the Rhodes family. He also disagrees with Jade Cargill breaking Brandy's arm, but can't wait to see the pair resolve it in the ring. Brandy's like, that's actually fair enough, mate. Cheers. Oh, it's actually nice. Wow, all right. As she leaves, Shaq says she should watch Jade for some pointers. And Brandy has enough and throws water over him and storms off.
And he stares into the
And
camera.
he's like, you know, I was a sit-down interview because Shaq couldn't be arsed standing up.
Oh.
This was, yeah. When you picture Shaquille O'Neal coming into something like AEW, you're waiting for the fireworks to go off. So right now, I think we're just lighting them at this stage. Waiting for something to happen.
Brandy, one of my big fears before AEW started was Brandy becoming Stephanie McMahon. And this promo confirmed in my mind that she is Stephanie McMahon.
Ooh.
Annoyed that Tony Schiavone would just say that she's the truth brand officer of AEW and then reel off whatever Shaq does in the world today, the manager of, what is it? Burger King or whatever it is?
Papa John's.
Papa John's.
Big Papa John.
All these, she gets annoyed at that, even though I don't know what else Tony Schiavone's supposed to do. And then the bit at the end about when she's getting annoyed at him saying, "Oh, you can take some pointers from Jade," as if she's like Sasha Banks or something like that. I'm like, you're Brandy Rhodes. Know your role. But it's this entire thing. I'm not being too harsh.
No, I don't think. I think it's fair.
It's like you probably could take a pointer or two from Jade. I'm sure Jade's quite good at the wrestling. You know,
No.
but this is the trajectory of Brandy's weird at the minute because we had the baby face like, you don't say that about my man. He's got a massive willy. Don't you dare say that, heifer, and all that malarkey. Then we have the sympathetic baby face stuff of her getting her arm broken, and now she's a proper sassy delusional heel. In this sit-down interview here, Brandy does my nutting on AEW.
Brandy's got a diverse character. You never know what she's going to do.
Diverse is a word for it. Like, it's wild. It's like, because she's got a good promo, and it's just, I want some consistency from Brandy. I just wanted to stick to one thing and just do it for more than a couple of weeks.
Fair enough.
You want consistency from the elite, the AEW head people. Ross, I mean, I have to ask something else for Sander.
Am I being too harsh here? Because it really left a sour taste in my mouth, that promo. That did.
No, I think you should say more of this because it takes attention off me being negative.
I think you're clearly, you've nailed your colours to the mast, and you're now team Shaq and Jade when it comes down to that match.
I am.
Fair enough.
Shack Attack. Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, and the Blade beat Lance
Shaka
Archer.
Khan.
Shaka Khan.
What about Shaka Khan?
Condescending Tony Khan and Shaquille O'Neal, the best tag team in the world, coming your way soon. And by the way,
Folded arms, Tony Khan. I don't.
that's the pose at the top of the ramp for Team Shaka Khan. And condescending, by the way, needs to be spelled with a K.
Yeah,
Because
right,
condescending Tony Khan in that promo was great.
And the match graphic for the tag team, Tony Khan's bigger than Shaq.
Allegedly standing at 7'8", condescending Tony Khan.
And he hits him with a print off of the dirt thread that he started on. Shut up, Matthew. Anyway, Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, the Blade beat Lance Archer and the Lucha Brothers. After Butcher puts Penta through the timekeeper's table early on, he's taken the back and the numbers advantage pays off. Apparently this was a real thing because Penta has a leg injury. So he took a manly powerbomb because he's a manly man and then got carried out. It was a handicap match. I did see Eddie Kingston laughing at him quite a lot. And I was all out of this. Look, all that meat. Ooh. Ooh.
I thought it was all right. I'd have liked for them to have really made it more clear. Or did they? And I just missed it. Made it more clear that Eddie's weird promo right at the end of last week's Dynamite ended in a brawl. Because, after Kenny had walked out with the belt and it was a shocking big moment, suddenly Eddie Kingston's on commentary last week going, Lance Archer, get out here right now. And then Shivani's like, we're out of time, we'll see you next week. And then this week, they didn't really explain that they'd had a brawl after the show. Yeah.
You know what? I'm very glad you pointed out because I'd forgotten that happened.
Same
because
here.
they didn't play it. They did it on Twitter, which is like, all right, well, you do have AEW Dart. Oh, wait, did I even see AEW Dart this week? I'm not sure if I did or not.
But I don't think that matters. I think you should still show it on your main show because that's what most people will watch. They might not see the tweet or the Dark episode.
No, they just assume you've got time to watch everything they do. Being the Elite, Dark, everything.
Heels.
Yeah, we're a part of AEW Heels, us three.
Yeah, who knows? Dark Order streams on Twitch. Adam Page does bingo. All of them. If you even blink, you'll miss 3 angles on AEW. I've done that. The Inner Circle hash it out and agree to all work together. And they're not splitting up forever. But Sammy says if one more thing goes wrong, he's out. And you almost couldn't tell this was a pre-taped Dynamite. Apart from the overdub bits where Excalibur talked about stuff. I'm alright with that, it's fine. I'm not that into production too much. Apart from the fake crowd. It was ridiculous during the segment. Because anytime anybody said anything, they did a "oh" sound effect from the crowd. But they were like, oh yeah, well, I think we should get along. Oh, I think that's a good idea. Oh, I'm like, what is this?
Well, there was just a lot
What is
of
it? Is Paulie Walnuts in the crowd? Like, why are they?
There was people
their
there,
reactions
wasn't
did
there?
not fit what was happening
There
in the
was
ring
just a
at
lot
all.
of zingers being thrown around, Matthew.
But there weren't zingers. It was like, I agree. Oh,
Holy walnuts.
Sopranos. It was go.
Oh, never seen it. Ugh. I know, but I've not read a plot synopsis, so I'm ready to watch The Sopranos.
Oh my god! If I find out 1 week, you're like, you know what? I could have watched all seasons of one of the greatest TV series ever made in America. But I read a YouTube video explaining it all to me. I'd probably break COVID rules and come around your house and strangle you.
No, I want to watch The Sopranos, except Sam once. Oh, this is off topic, but Sam once was like, he'd been watching it, and he was like, you seen The Sopranos? I was like, no, it looks really good. I've heard it's good. And he's like, right, so in season 4 when so-and-so dies, and I was like, well, why have you just... Yeah, I know. I don't know why he did that. But he was talking about how brilliant the episode was, and I was like, cheers, thanks, mate. Cheers for that. But it was so long ago that I've forgotten who he said, so it's all good.
What a horrible thing to do.
He didn't, but the thing is as well, he didn't realise he wasn't being malicious. He was just being Sam.
Have you seen it? No. Oh, good. Let me tell you
No,
what
but
happens.
Ross, you can imagine it, can't you? You can imagine
No,
Sam just like...
when Sam's passionate about something, there is no stopping that
Yeah.
man and telling you everything about that thing.
So it wasn't. There was not a shred of malice about it. It was just he wanted to tell me about it, and he did. So he overlooked the fact that I hadn't seen it. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Sorry, Matthew.
Also, Inner Circle hash it out, and then MJF faces Orange Cassidy for the Dynamite Diamond Ring and beats him up after interference from Miro with an awesome jumper.
Versace.
What was it?
Versace.
It said Versace on it, I think.
Versace.
But it looks so out there. I didn't realise that's what Versace jumpers look like. I always thought it was like it was a joke. That was a Versace. Wow, Matthew, why don't you talk about how little about fashion you know? Shut up.
Well, when he debuted wearing all like the Mickey Mouse stuff,
Yeah.
that was Gucci, I think.
I bet a gookie.
Tubman knows. He'll be listening to this going, ugh, these
But
peasants.
Right, I mean, I know he's listening to this recording, he'll be probably going, shut up. But, like, if I wanted a big picture of, like, Goofy, you can go to Primark and get one of them, sure.
Well,
Anyway.
yeah, that's what fashion's a weird thing.
Remember when he did that? He was on Raw one time, and he had the suit jacket, and underneath was a big picture of Donald Duck.
Yeah. That was going through his Freddie Mercury phase then, wasn't he?
I believe Rusev, or Miro, sorry, is what they refer to in Richard Tubman's fashion world as a hype beast. He wears... Oh, maybe no, he's more of just a... Apparently certain wrestlers are hype beasts where they wear cool streetwear. Kota Ibushi's a massive example, apparently, of a hype beast.
Richard, if you start talking and can be heard on the podcast, can you chirp in? Because we need this clarified.
I don't think we can. I don't think the audience
And we
can
go
hear
to
him.
Park, and he says, well, right about everything. Fantastic. Thank you,
that's
mate.
fair enough. Richard.
Great.
Thank you for your input.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. Ross's burgundy jumper
wait,
really does suit him. That's fantastic, mate. I'm glad that you said that. It's a shame no one can hear you right now.
Even if the audience can't hear Richard, we could actually hear what he says and then relay it to the audience now.
We could do that, yeah.
Jack should shut up. I completely agree. It's a shame you couldn't hear that.
Richard, if you want to chime in,
He's
you
not
can.
there, is he? He's not there. We could be doing...
He's gone. He's eating. He's doing something.
Richard?
Richard, are you alive?
He's not there.
He's not...
He's gone to the... Oh, he's there. He's there. Sorry, we've got a... Richard, were we right
he's here.
about hype beasts? Versace and Gucci's overpriced bollocks, says Richard.
Right.
Fair enough. Richard, who's the best dressed wrestler in your opinion in the world? He's going to take some... Next week, he's going to bring his opinions. He's going to come back with his top 5. Cheers, Richard.
Watch us forget and never bring this up ever again. Fantastic. Another award-winning segment from Cultaholic. Sure to win Reddit's favourite podcast, 3rd or 4th favourite podcast again. All right, thank you, Richard.
Thanks, Richard.
Signing off. The best friends try to brawl with Miro and Sabian, but it's broken up by several crew members who Miro destroys to end the show, yelling, "Don't you ever raid my mate stream again, you bunch of bingo-loving gets. I hate all of you." I like this main event. I like MGF. I like everything he does in the circle, his matches, him just being a wrong and...
He's good. He's very good.
Censor myself there.
You know what I did like? I've just thought of there.
Go on, Ross.
Is how during the inner circle bit, they brought up something that happened that certain people didn't see, but those people, Chris Jericho, were like, "Well, we watched the tape back last week. We saw what you did." That wouldn't happen in other places.
Yeah.
That just came into my mind there. So good. Well, go on. Good luck. All the best to you.
Jericho even said, "We're not stupid. We watched the show back." Yes. Fantastic.
Nod like Churchill.
I liked a bit as well where
yes.
it seemed like it was all sorted and everyone was like, "We're all fine now." And then Wardlow and Hager both go, "No, he just keeps staring at me." And Jericho's like, "Right, okay."
Oh.
That was... Oh, yeah, the
Keeps on
crowd.
staring at me. Oh!
They both said...
Some of the crowd's dying and no one's paying attention to him.
Was there fans there? There was, wasn't there?
There was, but they've added a lot of stuff on the pre-tape
But why
one.
though? Because when Sting...
It sounds better.
Didn't though. I'd rather listen to Sting's debut and the reaction. Imagine if Sting's debut happened on a taped episode of Dynamite and we heard over Sting. Oh dear.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I'll say this. I'll take fake crowd noise, as critical as I am of it when it's not done properly, over complete silence.
Lads,
Like in Baghdad.
But it's not though, is it? When there's
So
people there. Last week's Dynamite, you could hear the crowd loud and clear.
Lads, that beer has gone right through me and I need the toilet again. But don't let me stop the podcast because I'll be able to hear what you're discussing about NXT in my headphones. So can I just run off now?
Oh, can you do that? Your headphones go all the way?
They last to the bathroom,
They're
yes.
fantastic. I used to go for poos in the office here with my work headphones on. Oh, just spend ages in there. You get
Right.
lost.
Don't
That's
stop
awesome.
on my account, but I'll be
Please
back.
go, please go. We'll talk about you.
Maffew, when you have toilet rolls at home, I presume you've got a toilet roll holder on the wall.
You assume correctly, yes.
Does your toilet roll come over the top or does it go down the back?
Over the top.
That is the correct answer in my head, but apparently, because I was listening to Bailey's appearance on the New Day podcast because I'm that cool, going down the back is the official way to do it. And I just think that's wrong. I think it makes it harder to pull off, doesn't it?
Official... Who? The toilet roll company
The
of...
hotels who do the toilet roll. So yeah, we've been doing it wrong apparently all this time.
So what's going to happen to me?
I don't
I'm not going to get arrested. Wait,
don't
if you
know,
dob
but-
me in, you know my address. Ross, Howard, please.
Yes, the toilet police will come and arrest you. But on a related note, Maffew, when you wipe your arse, what tactic do you use with the toilet paper?
You're doing the best friends bit with Chuck Taylor. And that's like, do I do it stood up or sat down? Is that what you're
Well,
asking?
we'll start there. Do you stand up or do you sit down?
Sat down.
Do you sit down, do you? Must be just my fat arse. I need to stand up for the logistics of the situation.
Another question, because I keep on hearing people say, this is actually similar to this. I keep on seeing every now and again, it comes up on social media, that we're in the wrong position to go to the toilet. We're supposed to have our legs up in the air. Well, not like, harness, but like, rather than sat down like that, you see everybody do, you're supposed to have your legs up in the air. Almost like you've got an uppercase L.
All right.
So I've started doing that now, and I've noticed absolutely no difference whatsoever. So
I'm just picturing you sat on the toilet.
I'm there like
When
trying to fall off.
when I was a kid, there was something wrong with my bowels or something. It wasn't major, but like I remember I got given a like plastic tub, and I had to sit when I was going to the toilet with my feet on the tub to do that. But I was so young that I can't remember if it helped or not. And also, I've never once in my adult life thought, you know what would make this easier? Just popping my feet. I don't understand.
How do you wipe your arse, Jack?
Are we doing the front to back thing or the standing up, sitting down thing?
I was listening to New Day podcast with Bailey, and they were speaking about how they use
I heard the toilet roll holder thing in my headphones.
How they use the toilet roll, though. Because I'm like Xavier Woods. I wipe my arse like Xavier Woods. I fold, and then I go in.
Yeah, I fold.
Some people make a snowball, apparently, and just...
That's too
jam it in
dangerous.
there.
That's not enough coverage,
What?
That's not enough coverage. No, I fold, and I usually sit down, but occasionally I will stand up towards the end of the arse wiping operation, yeah.
Give yourself a treat, yeah.
I feel like it's more of a...
Thorough. You get a better angle.
Yeah, thorough, yeah.
I agree with that, because when you're sat down, it's sort of like, you need a... Maffew,
Also-
your toilet paper technique, what do you do? Do you fold?
No, I fold.
You fold?
Even when I'm at someone else's house, and there's someone who barely likes the expensive toilet paper, I still fold. All it takes is one experience where you go, this looks safe, and then your finger goes through it. And you're like,
I tell you what,
fold forever.
if you're looking to sort of save money but also have a pleasurable arse wiping experience, Shades from Asda is a fantastic compromise. You save the money, but you also get not a rash on your arse when wiping your arse. Fantastic scenes. And also, they do scented toilet paper. You get your coconut or your shea butter, I think there is as well. Fantastic scenes at Asda.
On the Best Friends on Chuck and Trent's old show, they had Ricochet on once, and he said that his method is to wrap it around his hand like a boxer's tape, the toilet roll.
Oh, no. Anyway,
He said that's not always. He said, and I quote, this is such a wrestler term, he said, only if it's a little bit of a sloppy boy. And then, yeah.
But then does the hand go in the cracked like palm first, or does it go
I
in?
have no idea.
I need a
don't know.
follow up on this.
You know what,
Unless-
as well? I just Googled there because when you were talking about over or under hanging of the toilet roll, and you said that Bailey said that under was the correct way. I'm sure I'd heard in the past that over was the correct way. So
She was saying, yeah.
Well, she said under, though, was the correct way.
She thought previously that over was the right way. I'm sure I was driving at the time. I wasn't really concentrating.
I'm in the over camp.
Yeah.
And I've just Googled over versus under toilet roll, and there is a Wikipedia page called Toilet Paper Orientation, and there's a section of it called Arguments. Would you like me to read out these few arguments for over or under?
Read them all, Jack, in full.
Right, there's 4 over arguments and 3 under arguments. Over reduces the risk of accidentally brushing the wall or cabinet with one's knuckles, potentially transferring grime and germs. Over makes it easier to visually locate and to grasp the loose end. Over's winning cleanly here. Over... What? Over gives hotels, cruise ships, office buildings, public places, and homeowners with guest bathrooms the option to fold over the last sheet to show that the room has been cleaned. What?
Yeah, that's a thing in hotels, isn't it? If your bathroom's been seen to if the toilet roll's been folded over.
Right.
But I can't imagine.
there's not towels on the floor.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going to somebody's house other than Hyacinth Bouquet and seeing a folded bit of toilet paper. Can you imagine?
Over is generally the intended direction of viewing for the manufacturer's branding, so patterned toilet paper looks better that way. Then we've got 3 under arguments. Under provides a tidier appearance in that the loose end can be more hidden from view.
But that's counterproductive because then you're searching, aren't you?
Under reduces the risk of a toddler or house pet, such as a cat, unrolling the toilet paper.
Of course it would be the cats
batting
ruining
out
it
the
for
road.
everybody. Dogs wouldn't do that.
And under in a recreational vehicle may reduce unrolling during driving. What?
Sorry, what?
Top Gear. They did
Wait a
that once,
minute.
didn't they?
A recreational vehicle. So what, like a party bus or something? I don't have a clue. I don't know what it means.
When you
You get
absolutely positively have to go.
Motorhomes, don't you?
Right. Well, that's very fascinating. I don't know what the answer is.
And I'd like to take this opportunity, I've been waiting for a suitable time, to say, hello, Mum, I know you're watching.
Which way do you think she goes?
Oh, however way she wants to. You know what? I don't think she even does. Because she's my mum.
You grew up.
She's evolved beyond needing to go to the toilet.
You know what direction the family toilet paper is laying.
Well, I probably do it over. She probably does it over because I do it over.
Right, fair enough. Yeah.
I inherited that gene that makes me do that. NXT, Balor opens the show, but is it up by? Does anyone care about it? Should we just skip? Shall be the main event of this week.
No, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in NXT.
He's interrupted by 3 candidates for the next title shot: Dunn, O'Reilly, and Damian Priest. They all argue and Balor leaves, but is stopped by Scarlett. Balor knows that Cross is coming. Priest says that if Cross wants a fight, all he has to do is ask. And as Dunn leaves the building, he is hit with a revenge attack by Killian Dane. Says that a lot's going on here.
There's a lot going on in this opening segment. You've got everyone against Balor. You've got Priest calling out Cross as well. You've got Killian Dane coming back and wrecking Pete Dunne. Loads.
Got to be Kyle in it going forward, I think.
I'd love it if it was Kyle. I would love it.
Break his jaw again.
Even though we have just addressed that people making fun of the Scottish and Irish with their horrible American accents is bad, Kyle O'Reilly mocking Pete Dunne.
O'Reilly.
Kyle O'Reilly mocking Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be checking with your mate Bobby in the hospital? That actually tickled me. So shows I'm a massive hypocrite. Jake Atlas picks up another win, this time over Isaiah Swerve. It's interesting. He offers Scott a handshake, but Scott just leaves.
I don't know why, though, because it was just he got out-wrestled, didn't he?
Well, he's going to turn heel, maybe.
He got beaten fair and square.
Yeah.
He looked at the booking sheet and went, this is bollocks, this. Grizzled Young Vets win a 3-way tag match over Imperium and Everrise.
My love of Everrise lasted 1 week and then they lost.
Right.
Well, what?
Oh, well.
We should have seen an 80s style promo from those two, though, because it's better when the losers cut their 80s promos. They're better then.
Yeah, they are really good. I wish they got
Shivani,
more.
you were in NXT for 1 day, is that right? Io Shirai and Toni Storm brawl into the arena, where Ember Moon helps Io get the better of Storm.
I'm sorry we're not giving much insight, but, I mean...
Oh, it's NXT.
What?
I mean, Tay doesn't like it, does he?
Tay-Tay?
Was that on this video or was that on a different
Tay-Tay?
video?
Oh, calling Tony Khan Tay-Tay.
Tay Khan, you called him.
Tay Khan.
Was that a different video or was it this one?
Tay Khan, I got him Tay-Tay.
That's how I know him anyway, old Tay-Tay.
You know what, if I ever see him, I'll go, you alright, Tay-Tay? It's calling the wrong name, deliberately, and look
bet he'd
right in his
love it. I bet
face, so he knows I'm an alpha male.
He'd probably just... That's a power move. You'd probably just be fine with it, I suppose. You've got nothing to prove when you're that rich.
He must have been in touch about Botchamania. He must have loved it before AEW was a thing.
Yeah.
Well, if he's a bigger internet smart as everyone seems to talk about him, he must do. I'm not sure if he likes it, because sure he loved it was WWE. Now AEW's been on it, it's like, oh yeah, that guy. But no, I've never interacted with Tony Khan. He doesn't follow me on Twitter, so I don't know how else. The only way to get his attention, I guess, is to put up a flag with something about dogs.
Might have been a screen name. You never know.
I might have
hate us,
spoken to him.
AEW.
You're right. Oh, do we know his username? What it used to be?
No. Tay-Tay.
If
23.
he's a smart going back 20 years, it was probably like RVD69 at geocities.com.
I did it all for the nookie.
I did all. mywaylimpbiscuit.mp3 at gmail. Anyway, where are we? Oh, yeah, NXT. Ciampa faces Cameron Grimes and beats him despite interference from Tyler Rust.
Tyler Rust.
Why is there a wrestler called Tyler Rust?
This is the former Rust Taylor.
Yes.
And I guess because of the T at the end of Taylor, he has been called Rusty Taylor at some point, and Rust, that's been his thing. And they rusted him like, phew.
Tyler Rust.
How is Tyler Rust going to become a world champion or hold a championship title?
Just
Tyler,
you wait.
here is your North American champion, Tyler Rust. How
Tyler
man?
Rust. It's badass.
As Neil Young says, Rust never sleeps. I guarantee that's what he says in his first promo. Anyway, Ciampa accuses Thatcher of sending Rust after him, which Thatcher denies. Thatcher beats down Grimes and leaves. Later, Rust is recruited by Malcolm Bivens.
Bivens is back.
Yay!
Why has he been gone?
Dunno. Where's Brody Lee been?
Well, apparently that's an unspoken secret or something.
Oh, really?
Do you not see that report from Ravy Davy Meltzer?
No.
Where he's like, that's something you must not speak about. The absence of Brody Lee.
Okay.
I hope he's all right. Like, I hope
it's
nothing, nothing serious.
Thank you for bridging the quote. The fourth answer went 3 pages long and started about reference to George Hackenschmidt, as every bloody thing he says. Gargano and Candice cut a promo with Indy Hartwell and Austin Theory, calling themselves The Way.
Not The Way.
Not The Way.
Pete Dunne's Pete Dunne's got to join The Way. He's absolutely got it.
They're interrupted by Damian Priest, but he's jumped by Karrion Kross. The Way.
Now, I've skimmed a lot of that promo because I found a lot of it very cringy and very awkward.
That's the point, isn't it?
It was the point, but I still didn't like it.
It's got Johnny Gargano does that to you.
No, I like Johnny Gargano and I like Candice. I think they're a fantastic pair of
You
wrestlers.
don't have to lie to us.
I
You
do
can just
like
say you
them.
don't like. Be like me and Ross. Be like Team Cool.
I do. I like Gargano and Candice. I do.
I enjoyed his dancing, to be fair. He's got some snake hips as Johnny Gargano.
He does.
But then he started speaking.
No, I like him as a face, and I like Candice as a face, and I think they're very natural faces, so I don't know what I think about this.
He needs Ciampa in everything that he does.
No, he doesn't. He's done stuff without Ciampa. He had that match against Andrade Cien Almas, remember? But, well, do you remember when they were taking away everyone's first names, but Andrade got Andrade Cien Almas? Yeah. It's so weird in hindsight. But I think that this segment was just a bit awkward. Gargano and Theory doing their no-look high fives, and oh god, I just want them to all get beaten up, which is the point, I suppose. I didn't really get it.
You do just sound like a mark.
Yeah, Jack.
What? All right.
Owen can have your job in 3 seconds, mate. You book your ideas.
Why do I sound like a mark? What's going on?
Saying that you're getting annoyed by Gargano.
Of course I was.
I want to get beat up.
I do want him to get beaten up. I do want him to get beaten up. Oh, dear.
Oh, that's great. Raquel Gonzalez beats Ember Moon in the main event. Toni Storm comes out, beats out Ember, but Rhea Ripley saves the day. She and Raquel stare down to end the show. Woohoo.
Mm-hmm.
Can he pair of boots on her?
Jesus Christ. Oh, my word.
What,
my career flashed before my eyes. No, just the start of the sentence got me worried.
What, they had massive spikes on them?
Oh, my God. Yeah, fair enough. No, it was just the start of the sentence. I was like, where's he going with this? But it's all right.
Well, I'm not going to do that, am I?
No, of course not. I know. I didn't think that you would. You're not Owen Mawson. But at the same time, it was more just like a subconscious, like, why is he saying this? I didn't think that, obviously, you wouldn't. It's all good.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She's got a massive pair of boots. And I was like, oh, no. And then he said boots. And I was like,
can he pair of boots, I said.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just had these spikes on them and everything. Thought they were. I'll just stop speaking.
No, it's my fault. I thought it was an effective ending promo with the stare down.
It would have been better if those kinky boots had gone over Johnny Gargano's face, right? Anyway, that was an incredibly long and very imaginative episode of the This Week in Wrestling. I hope you got through it all.
Because there's only 3 mailbag questions, and one of them you can't even see.
Be scared, Maffew.
Oh no.
Let's have a rummage in our mailbag. mailbags.
Well, let's have a preemptively not at all worried look in the mailbag. Number 1. Ho, ho, and indeed, ho. Before my question, I just want to give a heartfelt thank you to all of the Cultaholic crew who have helped me along with many others during this horrible year. For me, due to my condition, I had the pleasure of getting to shield from March up to the start of August, when some of the Scottish shielding rules loosened. During this time, I suffered bouts of depression and anxiety, even after some restrictions were lifted. Along with this, just as things were getting back to somewhat normal, my mum passed away 3 days before my birthday in August after spending a month in hospital. Christ. From Adam with his classic TV streams, Sam losing it over some trucks, to Jack's heat with The Office, and Maffew's struggle with words, flattered. From Ross being ravishing, to Tom and Jen just being the nicest people ever, you guys were and still are a constant to cheer me up, giving that sense of normality with your silly bollocks.
Thanks very much, man. That's really nice.
Yeah, my question is, as we're in the festive season, what is the best Christmas moment in wrestling? If you can't think of one, you can give us a feel-good moment either in wrestling or one you've experienced this year that made you think 2020, you weren't all bad. That's from Gar Munro, Perth, Scotland.
Thank you.
Well, before I get on to the answer to the question, thank you very much, Gar, for the lovely words. And again, very sorry to hear that you've had a crap 2020. Even by the standards of crap that 2020 has given to most of us. God, that's gutting. And I'm almost, say this in a nice way, it's nice that you're able to message a bunch of people that you haven't met, I assume, about the issues you've had. Because at least we should make this a bit more normal about talking about these things. Because let's face it, if you can't talk about it during this period, when can you talk about it? So,
yeah, absolutely. And it's always really, because Ross says it really well whenever someone says that, like, we've helped them through a dark patch or whatever. And Ross looks at it the same way I do. Like, it's really quite humbling and shocking because to us, we're just talking rubbish on YouTube. So it's always very touching to find out that we've actually managed to, like, someone sees us in that way and we've managed to help someone through a dark patch. So hopefully things look up for you soon, mate.
On that moment, best Christmas moment in wrestling. Now, I'm struggling to think of Christmas-related moments in wrestling. Maybe there's a wacky video coming up on Cultaholic, I don't know. But the first one that comes to mind is Del Rio accidentally running over Santa Claus.
You've taken mine, you bastard.
Yeah. Because that was one episode where everyone decided to be tongue-in-cheek almost, which I don't think everyone seemed to get. Because there is like, look, I'm really sorry, I didn't see Santa and all this. And Cena's there going, I'm going to wrestle you, Del Rio. Not for me. Not for you. But for Santa. And the crowd was like, Santa, Santa. And like, it was a bit silly, but knew it was silly, so I was alright with it.
On the Christmas Eve episode of Raw, they killed Santa Claus. They had Matt Striker backstage doing proper serious medical reports about Santa Claus being injured on Christmas Eve. How would the kids get their Christmas presents, man? Only John Cena could save Christmas. And he bloody did it, didn't he? All the kids got their presents that year. I thought that was great.
Yeah, when Santa Claus was horribly beaten up, what a great moment that was for Christmas. Jack, have you got any others?
Survivor Series 92? Bret Hart just retained the title and celebrates with Santa Claus. And if there's any babyface who's going to not take themselves seriously enough to celebrate with Santa Claus, it's not Bret Hart. That was a weird combination. You've got Santa all jolly in his big costume, and then you've got Bret just like, am I really being made to celebrate with Santa Claus? Very weird.
In November.
In November as well, yeah.
The Thanksgiving tradition of Survivor Series ends with Santa. Disgusting.
There's not been a lot of great Christmas. Bubba Ray Dudley was Santa, or did he wrestle Santa or something?
Sure.
Or did he
Kane had that Christmas hat on one time backstage as he was playing guitar. I think.
There was a... Kane once was Pete Rose disguised as Santa once, maybe?
No, he's been the turkey.
Oh yeah, the chicken. Yeah,
the chicken, whatever
it is. Yeah,
it's all poultry to me. How about it? Sorry.
I can't think of any more. There's not been a lot of iconic wrestling Christmas moments, has there?
Oh, Santa Claus.
Yeah, there's the TNA Christmas thing where they had round at Eric Young's house, Where was it? Eric Young believed that Santa was real and he wasn't having anyone else tell him otherwise. And what was the Dudleys did something on that episode as well? I can't remember what it was. By and large, when Christmas gets involved in wrestling, it's awful stuff.
There was that episode of Raw or SmackDown that fell on Christmas Day and they made them wrestle it.
Yeah, shocking that. They're not doing it this year, which is
No,
good.
they're not.
And also, while we're here, favourite Christmas special of a TV show? Because it all could be shown in a few weeks' time, so...
Probably the Royal Family.
Yeah, Royal
Which
Family's
one?
up there with me, yeah.
The Christmas special.
The Christmas one. Where they
the
go
one-
around.
The one where the grand dies is very sad, but it's really good as well.
That wasn't Christmas.
Oh, wait, was that not a Christmas one?
I don't think so. When the Queen of Sheba dies.
Yeah. Oh, was it not? Oh, balls.
Was it? I don't think it was. I'm thinking of what the Christmas one I'm thinking of was where, the son's girlfriend's parents come round.
Oh, yes. And
It's
they're
been a while
like...
since I've seen it.
And they're like...
Jim.
Jim's like, I work my arse off. I'm a proper labourer. Yeah.
That's a good point, Jim. Well made. Yeah, that one. There we go.
Yeah, that's the one. I forget what his name is. Ron,
Something...
Aye. When they're
That's a
defrosting
good
the
one.
turkey in the bath.
Because they did the modern one as well, where they go around to what's Caroline Ahern's character called? I can't remember. What
Denise.
It's called. Denise. Go around to Denise's for Christmas dinner. Just serve some crap.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. I'll go with the Blackadder Christmas special.
Which era of Blackadder was it? Oh!
No, it's like a bloody it's called Christmas Carol.
Oh, right.
So he goes, so it's like they play on it and go, look, you're such a nice, lovely man, Blackadder. Let's look at the other versions of you, like, where you're a dick, and he's like better there than he is in reality. So ends up like turning in the end.
Right.
I've already sold it, haven't I?
No, it sounds good.
I laugh every time it's
Mrs.
on.
Brown's Boys is great, isn't it?
No.
I'll tell you, I know lots of people hate it. My parents love it.
My mum loves it as well. My girlfriend's parents love it as well. I think it's a boomer thing.
I need to ask my mum and dad. I don't think they do, but I hope they
Boomers
don't.
love it. I think there's two new Christmas specials this year for
They've
Mrs.
done
Brown's Boys.
They've done two. If 2020 couldn't get any worse.
Unbelievable. The Christmas TV schedule this year needs addressing because it's awful. Terrible scenes. We're actually going to have to make conversation with our families, isn't that? Awful.
I tell you, one year, I came round, and this is only recently. She came round and she commandeered the remote.
Who's
my
she?
dad's. So my
Isn't that a...
my nana.
Oh yeah, I just thought you started saying she without saying who it was.
Oh, sorry, no,
She
my
came
nana.
round.
I get sorry. I had to like go in my head going like, be polite. You don't know what it is.
No, you did say it.
But my nana came
Sorry,
round and
mate.
she like just took the remote, and my dad's like, oh bollocks, because it's like whether Nana puts on, they have to watch because he's not gonna say out. So she put on Frozen. So my dad's like, oh god, and she 3/4 of the way through the film, she pipes up and goes, "This is that film with that song." And I went, "Yeah, Nana. It played 30 minutes ago." She went, "All right." And then both Puss in Boots films came on, one after each other, and just fell asleep with the remote. Like, almost like in her hands, like, nah. It's awesome.
Oh, dear, man.
Anyway, moving on. Number 2.
I was going to say very
Oh, no,
briefly
go on
as
then,
well.
sorry.
When I was younger, I used to watch, like, my granddad's old, like, like Morecambe and Wise VHS tapes and
Oh,
that.
yes.
Their Christmas specials were good. I don't know if they've held up, but I used to like it as a kid.
Oh, my dad always watches the UK TV Gold like clip show and highlights and like famous comedians going, this bit was good, and you just wish they'd show the bit. But some of those bits are amazing when he gets the piano player on.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
He's looking behind the thing going, are you ready?
He plays all
You're not playing the right notes. And he picks him up and goes, I'm playing the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order. Oh,
yeah,
class.
so good. Is that Andre Previn? That's
Yes,
the composer.
well
Yeah.
You think considering I see the show every year, I remember his name.
Aye. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, number 2. As a wrestling fan, I've often found myself making imitations of different wrestlers' behaviour. For example, back when Enzo and Cass were over as Rover, I would, after using the restroom at work, do the Enzo Mori celebration dance. Watching myself in the mirror would instantly fill me with enough energy to work for a couple of hours more. Wait a minute, time out. What was the Enzo Amore dance?
It's the one that Kevin Owens does on the ring apron, isn't it? With the feet where it goes backwards and forwards.
That's his entrance dance.
The strut.
I thought it was that thing. Do you not remember him doing that thing?
We'll have to get
can this person just very quickly clarify next week in the mailbag what the
Which one? Yeah. Which of the two dances was it? The habit I've had for the longest, though, is one I developed back in 2016 after Alexa Bliss got called up to SmackDown. I loved her promos and her as a character so much that whenever I would press total or card payment on the register, I would do the thing she used to do right before hitting a DDT, where she closed her fist one finger at a time.
Ching.
Punch it. Yeah. This had me thinking, are there any random habits or mannerisms you guys have adapted from the world of professional wrestling? Or anywhere else in media for that matter? Thanks a ton for all the content you guys provide. The podcast truly makes Saturday evening shifts even better. Kindest regards from Soren. And no, I don't pronounce that. It says you can just say Soren Maffew. Happy face. From Denmark. Oh, lovely.
Cheers,
wow, well, thank you all the way there from Denmark. Don't have anything to say about that, but it sounds like a nice place. And I'm trying to think, have I adapted anything from wrestling?
I've got one from like an amalgamation of wrestling and media.
Go on.
Because I couldn't sleep one night early in lockdown, so I flicked on one of Adam's famous streams. And he was speaking about ordering food, and he was speaking about this restaurant in Newcastle, well, it's a takeaway restaurant called Chickalicious. And the way, with Adam's accent, it was so soothing on the ear to hear him go, Chickalicious. He just kept saying it so sensually every single time he said it. He was like, I'm just going to get this burger from Chickalicious. So me and my girlfriend listen to that in bed, and it's become part of our vernacular now, just putting alicious on the end of everything. So like, in the kitchen, I don't know, chopping a pepper, I was like, could you pass me that pepperlicious? It's just stuck like that. And it's stuck this entire year. Just every single thing when we're having a conversation is always like something delicious. Just because of Adam going, Chickalicious.
It's weird you should mention this. Because me and my girlfriend have an Adam-related in-joke as well.
He's got a voice, hasn't he? Just got an iconic voice. It's a compliment of anything.
With us, it's that we wonder why he hates her. Because every time he's met her, Adam's introduced himself to her. The same girlfriend. 3 separate times, and he's gone, hi, Adam, nice to meet you. And she's like, what? I know you. And also, Adam's like easy to talk to. Like, he'll get on with anyone. He'll talk to anyone. So if someone brings a new person into the group, he'll like when we met Tom's girlfriend, he chatted to her for ages. But he just doesn't, like, it's not rude. He just doesn't make any sort of, it's very, very strange. So we think that he hates her secretly. So I want to get to the bottom of this. Adam, why do you hate Warlass? There we go.
You'll have to ask him in person because there's no chance he watches this.
No, not at all. No, not at all.
He'll stream this podcast one time on Twitch. He'll just be disgusted the entire time.
It's always when she's got like a drink and a bag, like her hands are full, and he'll just go, hi, Adam, and stick his hand out, and she's like, oh, God damn it. I've seen it happen. She's telling the truth. It's weird.
What a sociopath that man is. I don't have an Adam-related thing. I'm trying to think of any wrestlers. I have when I've been in America, because I see it all the time on WTV and other things related to America, the irresistible urge, sometimes when I get off the plane and I'm landing in the airport, I have the urge to just go, USA!
No.
And one time I was at this thing called Magstock. It's supposed to be like Magfest, but camping. Oh, it was amazing. Nerds know how to camp. And everyone was getting drunk and lit up, and everyone was just there, and it was beautiful. There was music playing. It was the middle of summer. And my luggage had got lost to the connecting flight. It was months until I saw it. So I didn't have any bloody clothes apart from the stuff I was wearing. So my mate goes to Walmart and gets the finest selection from the $5 aisle. And one of them was a disgusting American flag shirt with an eagle on the front.
I've seen this.
I loved. Yeah, I've worn it many times because I unironically love it now. But I was wearing that at this Magstock thing. And everyone was like getting drink and stuff. And these Americans were very American-y. And going, oh man, it's good to see you wearing that shirt, man.
No.
You know, and trying to say, like, you know, some people say, like, you can't wear the red, white, and blue anymore, man. Like, it's like political correctness. I went, yeah, but trying to do like, yeah, man. Yeah, I went, you guys, you're right. And I don't want them to realise. I said I'm from New England. And before any of them realise, I was like, hey, guys, USA, and they all look like really nervous, like, oh, can we? USA, and they're all doing it, and I went, oh, say again, and they all just stopped what they were doing and went by the doors. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Oh God, they are so proud to be Americans.
I know that bloody anthem because WWE loves playing that. Mm-hmm. WrestleMania, time for the anthem.
American
Survivor
the Beautiful
Series,
WrestleMania.
time for the anthem.
No, stop.
Monday Night Raw, time for the anthem.
He's wrong. I'm pretty sure it's America the Beautiful at WrestleMania.
Oh, what great.
So sorry.
Anyway, so that's the only thing I've got back from wrestling, I think. But I did used to. It's actually recently I've stopped doing it now because of South Park, and from streaming it on a Saturday. And God, I'm sorry about that when I streamed South Park 64 because Triple Jump put it on their worst games ever list. And I went, bollocks to them. What do they know? I love this game as a kid and played it. I'm like, oh, they're so right. But for years, I used to say, right, well, I'm going over here. And it's only in the last few years I've stopped doing it.
Like
just because Cartman would say it. You stay here, and I'll go over here. And I would say it non-ironically. Because if you stop doing something that often, you just keep doing it.
Yeah, you can't stop, can you?
Yeah. So is there anything else from any other media you've taken, apart from Pachidi?
I can't think of any. That's the one that just comes to mind. I wonder when it'll ever stop. Just that need to put "alicious" on the end of everything. Can you pass me the remote "alicious"? Oh, they wouldn't have caught on with anybody else. What a voice that man has.
Absolutely, it's a positive thing.
Yeah, sure. And it just says here, very ominously. Question number 3, Maffew quiz. All
Here we
right,
go.
what have you got?
Ross, do you want to read the questions or should I?
You can read the questions, Jack. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's the latest in a long line. I can definitely remember me doing a quiz about myself. Jack must have
I did
done
one.
it.
Did I not get one?
No, you didn't get one.
Oh, okay, fair enough then. I was thinking I was going to need a blindfold and a cigarette here, but all right.
Hello, Ayatollahs of Cultaholic. You might remember a few months, ago, that people sent in quizzes about Jack and Ross, so I figured I'd do one for Maffew as well, because I think he's swell and deserves one as well. And this is from Moses from South Korea. Here we go.
What?
That's right.
Awesome.
I don't know how many Moseses there are in South Korea, but this
It's so
one's
great,
written
by
in.
the way, that how many international people watch this.
Oh, absolutely.
We talk about nothing but British crap the entire time. There's all these people from South Korea and Denmark watching it. Thank you.
So, number 1, obligatory Botchamania question. Which of the following is not a YouTube account used by Maffew to upload Botchamania? Is it Hardcore Botch Holly, Abdullah the Botcher, Big Botch Man, or Headbanger Botch, which is not a YouTube account?
I've used all of them. No, sorry, Big Botch Man.
He's correct. Number 2, 6 years ago in a Reddit AMA. Oh my god, we're going far back
yeah,
here.
I did do this, yeah, go on.
6 years ago in a Reddit AMA, Maffew was asked what his favourite Simpsons episode was. One of his answers was Sideshow Bob's Last Gleaming.
That's that, yeah.
From the American National Anthem. Last Gleaming. And
That's
the
right.
other
Well done, you.
was a Treehouse of Horror. Which Treehouse of Horror did he pick? There's no multiple choice here.
Oh, no. Does it say the number or does it say which episode?
It just says the number.
Oh, crap. I don't know them by numbers.
Well, I'll find the episode and you can describe the episode and then I'll
the
see
one
if
with the
it's-
shinning.
The one with the shinning.
Yeah.
Well, the answer was Treehouse of Horror 5, and I'm on the Wikipedia page for Treehouse of Horror 5. The shinning is in it. The shinning is there.
Yes,
as well
I
as,
know me.
As well as Time and Punishment and Nightmare Cafeteria.
Yeah.
On Maffew's episode of Straight to Hell, hosted by the lovely Ross, Maffew nominated a specific wrestling move to go straight to hell. Which one was it? Atomic Drop, Overdrive, Super Kick, Canadian Destroyer.
Wow.
Oh, well, I think I remember.
That's tough. Canadian Destroyer, probably.
It was the Atomic Drop.
Oh, yes, I thought so.
Did I?
Yeah.
What was
No,
the
one
sure-
episode was terrible.
I'm
God.
sure your reasoning was something to do with like the fact it was a low blow, but not a low blow.
It's not, though. What the hell was I talking about? Atomic drops to you. Bloody back. We've talked about this in other episodes. The bloody back of your arse. That kills if someone drops you on it. Manhattan drops the one of the balls. What a terrible video that was. I'm very sorry. Stupid idiot, Maffew.
Which of the following pay-per-views has Maffew participated in a live reaction for Cultaholic? TLC 2018, NXT UK Takeover Blackpool, Wrestle Kingdom 13, or the Royal Rumble 2019?
That one, that riveting New Japan one.
New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 13 is correct.
Wow, it's so hard to remember all the one I've done.
Here, was this quiz meant for me and Ross, or was it meant for Maffew? Because some of these answers are way too easy. Who is Maffew's co-host on the Cultaholic Classic SmackDown review?
Go on.
There's no options. There's no options.
There's no options. Oh, no, that makes it really hard. I'm going to go with Tom Campbell.
It's Tom Campbell, actually, yes.
Or just some of these twig things like, no, he's not actually the co-host, he's the GM or something.
Speaking of Tom Campbell, it was only a segue, hang on. On Matthew's episode of Desert Island Graps, 2 of Matthew's 3 matches he'd take to watch on a desert island were, unsurprisingly, a Mike Awesome match and a Volta match. Name any participant in the other third match.
Dolph Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio.
It was. Why?
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Okay.
I was trying to think of something that wasn't Walter or Mike Awesome, so I had to go, what's a good wrestling memory I have? I had to go back 7 years.
Alicia Fox. He's gone for Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, Payback 2013.
What a turn it was, though, honestly.
Oh, the double where he kicked him in the head a lot.
The build-up to it was amazing. As like I said on that episode, I'll go watch it. No one watched that bloody episode for the bloody wrestling matches. It was me getting emotional with Tom and hugging us afterwards. I think that made up for the straight to hell with Ross.
No, to be fair, Maffew, I was terrible at those early straight to hells. I mean, he got good at them recently.
Yeah, mate, I had literally no sleep. I was a rambling mess. I would only watch that as some sort of punishment. I might do that on Twitch sometime. Just rinse that and pause and go, look at this gibbering idiot. It's not a low blow. What are you talking about?
I might be wrong there. I'm trying to remember a dark period of my life.
Hey, the question did say that Atomic Drop was the answer.
No, I probably did say it. That's the point. I was bloody...
Oh, sorry.
All the indie guys are sick of seeing people do atomic drops. They say it's killing the business. People kicking out of an atomic drop off the 2. Canal.
Which of the following was Matthew's first nomination for the extremely prestigious Cultaholic Hall of Fame? Your first ever nomination. Southpaw Regional Wrestling Season 2, Bret Hart, Neville, or Virgil doing a Canadian Destroyer?
I'm going to say Bret.
It was Neville. He must have had a big week that week.
Oh, it was a long time ago.
I think he was missing, wasn't he, when the podcast started?
Was
he on his hiatus, wasn't he?
Right, when he was Cruiserweight man. Which of the following was Matthew's first successful nomination for the still extremely prestigious Cultaholic Hall of Fame? WWF No Mercy for the N64, Al Snow's reign as European Champion in 2000, the WCW Bash at the Beach ring playset. They're all things you like, yeah. Or finally, the Rock versus Austin Limp Bizkit My Way video package from WrestleMania 17. Yeah.
You know what? I was probably salty because I hadn't had anything nominated for months. So I probably went, My Way.
This was your first successful one, and it was No Mercy for the N64. Since the lockdown began, Maffew has put up various posters on his nearby wall for the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast, some of which are wrestlers. But which of the following has he not put up? Ophidian, Bret Hart, Honky Tonk Man, Mike Awesome.
Mike Awesome. I don't have one.
Yes, it is Mike Awesome. See, that's why some of these questions are a bit too easy, because you can go, not got a Mike Awesome poster. There we go.
I have to consult myself.
Yeah. Number 10, and finally, finish Matthew's runner-up quote of the year from OSW's reviews. Bleh. Finish Matthew's runner-up quote of the year from OSW's 6th annual Golden Nogger Awards. I've seen what blank looks like. That guy has never turned heel on a cheeseburger in his life. What is who did you say that about? Because bloody hell.
Bully Ray?
Yes, Bully Ray. I'm assuming he'd beaten up the wrestler Cheeseburger, and you decided to end his life because of it.
That guy's never turned heel on it.
Right. He's just laughed at his own
Every
joke
like
massively.
one good line I'd have at OSW was like 10 awful ones, so I made up for his balance.
You
in the end.
finished second in the runner-up though to the awards.
I did.
Quote of the year is their big one, isn't it? As well, it's their big
Well,
award.
I'm saying that I'm agreeing that because I got second place.
But wait, there's a bonus question. It's for me and Ross. Describe Maffew using a Simpsons reference. Maffew picks the winner. I don't know.
Oh, bloody hell. How am I going to do that?
I don't know. Oh God.
You love the Simpsons. Jessica Simpson, O.J. Simpson.
We need more botch license plates in the gift. I don't know what I've done.
Oh, that's a good one, Jeff.
Thank you, mate. Cheers. Yeah, I'll do.
He's like Krusty the Clown.
Aye, yeah. Yes.
Well, you know what? You're both winners and one.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you've all done over the years, and here's to you hoping you all stay safe and sane until we reach the end of this pandemic. Even Jack. My word.
Yes, go South Korea. Thank you, Moses.
When I excitedly volunteered to read out that, I was not expecting such a conclusion. Wow.
I used to read out those the beautiful questions like, thank you very much for all of you to do, and it was, Amanda hug and kiss at the end. Or all the well, that was the mailbag this week, and what a mailbag it was. If you have any lovely things to contribute or ask about anything and everything in between, please send them to mailbag@cultaholic.com.
Play with the thing on my chair for the entire podcast every week, and I was just fiddling with it there.
Oh. It's the end of it.
You know what? I'm playing with a cap for my thing. I didn't even realise I was doing it.
Twiddler as well. I'm a twiddler, me. I need something to twiddle.
I'm a
Ross
fiddler.
Twiddle.
That famous. Reese's Pieces.
They didn't hear that, but the discussion we were just having.
I hope it's kept in. So Matthew's is the inner
even
workings
faker than
shown.
usual. Hello to you all. Big fan of what you all do. A long time listener.
I thought he was just talking. I thought Maffew was just going, hello to you all. Big fan of what you do.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know if you know, but there's a somewhat irritating situation going on that is stopping many of us from visiting movie theatres.
Yes.
I was annoyed about this because I wanted to see the New Mutants movie that came out recently, despite it getting crap reviews. With some of my favourite entertainment, even if it's bad, I remain a fan. Fair enough. Along this thought process, I could easily make some parallels to the wrestling world. When I was younger, I was far less concerned about how much sense everything made, as opposed to the spectacle and how it made me feel in the moment. For example, those first 2 X-Men movies were fantastic to me at the time and hooked me in, only to be continuously let down by the product for years and years to come. Every once in a while, there would be a good angle/movie, but then it would be followed up by absolute crap, seemingly just to remind me of how stupid I am for being so loyal to this brand. So on that note, I've listed out a handful of mutant abilities from the movies and comics. Please pick the first wrestler you can think of. It would be a good match for the superpower listed. I noted the names of the characters each power is associated with, just in case some of the abilities are a bit too nebulous on their own. Keep up what you guys do and have a great holiday in 2021. Going to this, I could fully support what he's saying there. The first 2 X-Men films were pretty good. The second one especially. And it's been a mixed bag ever since, so I could see where he's come from. Now, something happened, there's something negative happened. Oh, I see, because we can't go to movie theatres, right? That's what he meant. Okay, never mind. Well done, Matthew, that beautiful segue. So, we'll go round here. We'll do Ross, Jack, Maffew. Which wrestler should have mind control via Professor X?
Which one first? Sorry, Ross. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, why has it got to be me first? Teddy Long.
Triple H.
Oh, because he...
Because
Timothy Thatcher.
Okay.
Because he knows a lot about wrestling.
Yep.
Doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I just couldn't think of anything.
No, that's a good answer.
Magnetism. Because of Magneto.
Bray Wyatt when he's a cult leader.
Ace Steel.
Oh, can I think of a one? Gregory Iron.
And then he said that one as well.
Iron helps us play. Healing factor, like Wolverine.
Gold dust. Sorry, is gold magnetic even?
It's no, but it is a metal.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Iron Mike Sharp.
The healing factor.
No, for
healing factor.
for metals. For healing factor, who's always injured? Kevin Nash.
I'll go for Phoenix because he does some scary stuff.
I'll go with Bobby Fish because he's one of those little cards where he gets a stamp on it every time he goes. That's terrible. Shut up, Matthew.
That's awful.
Concussive blasts. Cyclops.
Concussive blasts.
Does that mean
from his eyes?
Yeah.
Boosh. So it's eye lasers, really.
Oh, well, Brody Lee / Luke Harper.
Maybe that's why we're not supposed to talk about it.
Eye lasers. Oh, I'll go for Dexter Lumis because he's got a powerful stare on him, Dexter Lumis.
It's true, yeah. Concussive blasts. Oh, Nia Jax. She loves giving up.
No. I knew he was going to go somewhere like that.
I mean, it's right there for the taking. Telekinesis. Jean Grey.
The Fiend.
Yeah, I was going to go for the Fiend as well.
RVD, because not only can have chairs appear in the ring, you would need to have Bill Alfonso travel with him to do his spots. You could just make all the fast food he buys and all the potato chips go to his mouth because he does weed.
Oh, yep.
Weather manipulation, Storm.
Weather manipulation.
Weather manipulation? Vince McMahon.
Okay.
What the hell did you answer for that one?
It just rains in Jacksonville constantly. And Atlanta because he still hates WCW. I'll go for...
I was going to say Tony Storm, but that's a bit...
Oh,
it fits the gimmick, doesn't it?
I'll go for Sting because he already sort of is. He makes snow appear whenever he's there.
Yeah. I'll go with Baron Corbin because he could do that and finally get some heat. This is just the worst puns and selections.
No, it's good. It's good.
Shape-shifting, like Mystique.
So scandalous. Shapeshift. I don't know, Maffew. Move on.
I'll go for. I feel like I'm trying my best. I feel like Otis would come up with maximum comedy as like just shifting into different shapes. There we go.
Right, the show's up. He goes, "Hey, I'm Piccolotus."
No, I was imagining like someone backstage bumps into like, I don't know, like Liv Morgan or someone, and they're like, "You all right, Liv?" And then Liv goes, "Yeah, it's Otis, yeah," and he's made himself into Liv Morgan. That would be funny.
Oh Christ. John Silver, so he can make himself really big and impressive. So it could be 5'8".
Oh my god.
Phasing.
Maffew hates short people. Do you remember all the abuse?
I love them. No, the complete opposite. I'm saying that's not small.
Do you remember all the abuse he used to give Chad Gable? Look at little Shorty G. Awful.
No, the name. Him coming out and going, "I'm Shorty G." Someone verbally abused me and I've taken the name. Aren't I great? I'm like, I hate you.
I understand
I hope Baron
now.
Corbin stuffs you in a pedal bin.
See? He's like Randy Newman.
Phasing, Kitty Pryde.
Phasing?
You can phase through objects and walls.
Right.
And just...
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just reading my YouTube comments on my WTF from AEW here. And someone's put, "There was fake crowd noise. I legit didn't notice."
In fairness.
It's got 3 likes.
Look, it's weird you say that. Well, not weird, but funny you say that because I said like Impact Wrestling when they've done their pay-per-views recently have been the dirt worst. Like I have done A-level media when I was at A-level media that had better production value than this, and people are playing so maybe people who don't do media or production, I think not all of them care about like fake
so
crowd or bad editing. It's weird.
It was so off-put on AEW. What was the question?
Phasing.
Which wrestler would be best with phasing? Which Kitty Pryde can do. She goes through walls and floors and stuff.
Sean Stasiak when he had that gimmick of running into things.
Oh, he's taking the best one. I'd quite like to see Gangrel return by coming up through the ring like that.
I know who Matthew's going to say.
Go on.
Come on.
Shockmaster?
No, that wouldn't work because he wouldn't have fallen over there.
Matthew wouldn't have Botchamania if that.
I'm the Shockmaster and I arrived to this wall exactly as intended. Wow, how effing impressive. Phasing, I'm going to go with Akira Tozawa because he can then win the hardcore belt and then run through catering. And then never see any of these segments on Raw ever again. Diamond form / Diamond skin, Emma Frost.
Diamond form!
Yeah.
Go! Activate!
Form of a diamond!
Get into it, yeah.
Diamond.
MJF, because then it can just become a human ring.
Yes, but how would he wipe himself, Ross?
Sorry?
You know what, doesn't matter. Jack, say something.
That's reminded me of a joke once that my dad told my mum and I was too young to get it, and I always remembered it because I thought, I'm going to find out what that means. I had some Lord of the Rings Top Trumps card when I was a kid, and one of the categories was resistance to ring. And my mum or my dad said, is that how tight your knickers are? Or how loose your knickers are? And the other one couldn't stop laughing, and I found out that ring meant arse. So, there we go. Form of a diamond, for me, would be DDP. There we go.
Oh, that would make sense. He would have hard skin. The Young Bucks, so they could return to Twitter.
I thought you were going to say Rollins, but yeah.
I'm doing my best, mate. Look, ice / cold. God, Matthew. Manipulation, Iceman. Who should manipulate ice, Ross?
Do you know who chose...
Glacier.
Do you know that Ross chose this? Do you know Ross chose this versus PC?
No, this was the only option in this week's mailbag.
I feel so bad for this guy who sent it in. Because we're just going,
I'm loving it. I love the guy who did it.
How long's the pod? Hang on, let me see how long the audio recording's been going.
There's like 8 more.
2 hours 43 minutes at the time.
No one's
of recording.
watching.
No, he will. He'll be waiting to see if we've picked his Reese's Pieces, and we have. And I really appreciate him for doing so. I just want to make that clear. But I have no idea who should manipulate ice. I really don't know. I really don't. Austin, because he's stone cold. Steve Austin.
Chili McFreeze. Teleportation like Nightcrawler.
Now, right, yep.
Oh, did we do teleportation?
No, we didn't.
No, we did
telekinesis.
phasing. Those are two different things.
I said the Fiend for one of them. Is that not
telekinesis, making things float.
Oh, well, I meant the Fiend for teleportation.
Oh, no, don't change it now.
Oh, don't you look silly.
Teleportation. The Shockmaster.
Just the lack of effort is superb. It's so good. Do I count because I've won the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Championship?
You never mentioned you've done that, Jack.
I know.
Did you? Wow.
Can I therefore pick myself? Because whenever the question's asked, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? I always pick teleportation, so I really want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go for myself.
I'll allow it for this award-winning Reese's Pieces. Pack, so he can go back and forth from America to the UK without having to swim the entire way there.
Yeah.
Fireworks / pyrotechnic energy, Jubilee.
Kane.
Even Jubilee's getting mentioned in this.
Kane, circa 1998.
Kane also.
Of course.
Kane.
Because then you'd be a wrestling fan.
Kane.
Kane. I'm going to say Kane circa 2020. Metal body like Colossus.
Metal body.
Metal body.
Just this is Matthew. This is just like I'm just loving Ross having to interact.
I know, stop laughing.
With the
Because Ross isn't a nerd or anything, so he's like,
so
what are you asking him?
If this was which football player is this wrestler, he'd be all over it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Say a football player should have a metal body, Ross.
I'm just help me depth.
Dennis Law would have a great metal body. That's a great answer, Ross. That's yours, Jack.
He would be velvet, that man, not metal.
You see, mine's probably Nemanja Vidic. No, I'll go for metal body. Oh, I'll go for Iron Mike Sharp. There we go.
Oh, good. Yeah, take Ross's joke from before.
Yeah. Oh, we're going back to them. Oh.
Aye.
Gregory Steele, then.
Gregory Iron.
Gregory Steele.
Oh, my cheeks hurt. Oh, God.
I hope this never ends.
I've got a feeling it might never end. The way it's going.
Sorry. Oh, I need a metal pun, don't I?
No.
How many
no
more
one-
metal wrestlers are there? The show WWF
Oh,
Metal.
Silver Ant.
Okay.
There we go. Flight.
Okay.
Angel. Well, it's wings, really, but whatever.
He's picking holes in his assessment of the X-Men. Well, Angel's got wings, not innate flight
I
like
know,
Superman.
well, some of them just like, all right, I'm flying now, and go whoop, and then that's all they do. He's like,
Angel can fly. We can.
I know.
Alan
why am I
Angels.
talking about this?
Alan Angels of the Dark Order, because you've mentioned Angels there, and that's part of his last name.
Angelico.
Christopher Daniels, the Fallen Angel.
We've done it. We've done that one.
Super Speed, Quicksilver.
Who could benefit? Who runs a lot? Someone runs a lot. Who needs to go a bit quicker? Viscera.
Oh, fair play. I was going to say Braun Strowman when he does his spot round the ring, when he charges round.
Lana, so she can bravely run away from her opponents until TLC. Extreme Durability, Juggernaut.
The Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say me now. I'm sorry to whoever sent this one in. Just to peel it back, it's been a long day. We did the Culties before this, and I've run out of steam.
We did
I've
shoot
run
the
out of
Culties
steam.
before this. It's not your fault. It's our fault.
It's our fault for trying to pack too much into a Christmas schedule, for goodness
Absolutely.
sake. Why can't we just publish one video a day instead of 7?
But I think, in a weird way, our total disdain for this question has made it a more entertaining segment than it would have been.
Absolutely. If we treated this seriously, it would suck. But the fact that you're tired and can't be asked.
I'm going to go for... My favourite Ross answer was, I'm just going through my YouTube comments here.
I'm just reading my emails right now.
I'm gonna go for.
Oh, God.
What was this one?
What's this one?
Extreme Durability.
Extreme
Extreme
durability.
durability. Spike Dudley.
Oh, great shout! Damn it. That last from this week's Dynamite, Tesha Price, the one who got squashed by Abaddon.
Oh.
Because it came up on the graphic before she fought her. She's 0-5. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Mine's gone blank. Darby Allin, because he needs it. Can't even say this without laughing.
Is this the last one?
No.
What?
I'm trying my best. Elongated tongue. Toad.
Bubba Ray Dudley.
Alexa Bliss. She did that recently, didn't she? Stick her tongue out?
Aye.
Yeah. No, not Padisa Pervert. For God's sake.
Elongated tongue.
Someone say Devon Dudley, because then it can French kiss
Devon
from
Dudley.
halfway across the ring.
It was but he could hit the opponent with his big.
What? They can shoot their tongues out respectively and make like a low
Meet in the middle.
like a tripwire, and then when someone hits the ropes, they'll trip over their tongues.
Superhuman strength / dexterity. Beast.
Wrestlers just have that. Wrestlers just
yeah,
are.
yeah. Wrestlers have that.
Braun Strowman is that anyway, isn't he? He's the very embodiment of dexterity.
Cesaro for me, but he's already got it. What am I talking about? Tony Khan, he'd love it. He'd absolutely love being able to do all the wrestling.
Crash Holly.
Stevie Richards.
Superpower absorption. Stevie Richards could use that because he took people's gimmicks.
Absorption, did you say?
Yeah.
Spike Dudley, because he's got to absorb all the pain.
I'll go for. Oh man. Oh my god.
A lot of these traits overlap, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. They really do. Power absorption. Who's a wrestler who nicks everyone's gimmicks and everything? Who
Dolph
steals
Ziggler when he had that gimmick of nicking everyone's gimmicks.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Dolph Ziggler.
Cody Rhodes, because all he does is a superpower absorb all the 80s wrestlers. No smoke and mirrors. Last one.
Oh, thank God.
Reality. What? Reality manipulation. Scarlet Witch.
Oh, God's sake. God, the X-Men got stupid. What?
Who can manipulate reality, Ross?
Why did it turn into that? The X-Men, it started off, this one can heal himself. This one's got laser eyes. This one's got wings. Now it's reality manipulation. Did you see that catch, by the way?
That was a good catch. Well
Thank
done.
you.
You manipulated reality.
I'll go for Natalia. Because it must be hard to be Natalia.
I'll go for reality manipulation.
In kayfabe, I mean, by the way, she loses all the time apart from
Yeah.
this week on SmackDown. Not in terms of having lots of money in a nice house.
Reality manipulation, I will go for... Maven. I just want to see what Maven's vision of WWE would be. If that GM thing was permanent, not just 1 week.
Adam Pacitti, GM of Defiant Wrestling.
He's a wrestler as well.
Yeah, he is a wrestler.
Hey, steady now. It was WCPW, not Defiant.
Aye, it was.
There's a big difference there. They changed that name because we left.
No, they didn't. People think you're being serious there. So
I know.
That's not true, but let's pretend it was.
Okay.
Wow. All those things came from Mr. Mark Gaines
Thank you, Mark.
I'm
from
sorry,
Chicago, Illinois.
Mark, I'm sorry.
Mark, thank you.
That was a great Reese's Pieces because
It's
of
not
that,
your.
Mark.
It's not your fault. It's our fault for trying to publish too many videos over Christmas and leaving ourselves too short.
Yeah,
For not
and you know
being
what?
like X-Men.
It wasn't as anywhere near as bad as X-Men Apocalypse, so it's all right.
That's a funny one.
If you have any, if you have any Reese's Pieces that are hideously long, stupid, and were completely prepared for, please send them.
But
to
wait,
mailbag at
Matthew, there's a
cultaholic.com.
special secret one just for you. No, I'm joking. There's not a second
Oh,
Reese's
thank
Pieces.
Christ!
It's Cultaholics.
Wow, what a long and arduous podcast it's been this week. Don't worry, we're nearly there. The big question this week, thanks to all the cross promotion between Impact Wrestling and AEW, what are your Impact/AEW dream matches?
I've just broken the bottle opener that I was playing with.
How have you broken it?
Well, it was a key ring as well, and it's broken.
That can't be a Cultaholic branded beer bottle opener, is it?
I was pulling on it quite strenuously. It's not the fault of the Cultaholic merchandise. It's my fault. But, oh, God.
Well, if you were going to break some merchandise, at least it's Cultaholic's merchandise.
Yeah, it's true.
If you'd like to break any of our products, don't worry, you can. Be like Jack, go to cultaholicshop.com and buy and break everything you want. It's yours forever.
I can't believe I've done this.
So, Ross, not sure what level of fan of Impact Wrestling you are in the year of our Lord 2020, but what would your dream match be if AEW and Impact are going to do this dream show that we're all thinking?
In all fairness, I've watched more Impact this year than I think I ever have. I've watched at least the last 3 pay-per-views. So, I don't know what that says about 2020. But I'll go for my dream Impact versus AEW match being Josh Matthews taking on Lance Archer inside of a steel cage where there's nowhere for Josh Matthews to run. And his silly, what I believe to be a mid-1990s Vince McMahon impression. He's trying to put on a bigger voice than the one he actually owns. And I don't understand why he does it, but it's awfully distracting.
Like, oh, look at this. Oh, not like that.
Oh my God, 1, 2, 3, got him all anointed.
And as a former commentator of the year who defeated Jim Ross in a poll, voted for objectively by fans of the great sport of professional wrestling,
Yeah.
I think I'm fully qualified to say that.
Is Josh Matthews, has he been doing this for a while, or is it worse because there's no fans in?
I've read online, well on Reddit specifically, that Josh Matthews being a major drawback for Impact, that's been a thing for a long time.
I remember reading criticism of him for a while ago, but I thought it had died down because everyone just kind of got used to it. But apparently not. Well, that's a dream. That's certainly a dream match. I'm glad you've
Never happened.
taken this seriously.
And on next week's episode, Straight to Hell, you'll never guess who's going to be on.
I watched a Josh Matthews sit-down interview recently with. It was with a wrestler who I wasn't too familiar with, but I've since become a big fan of hers because she's very charismatic. Casey Spinelli. Are you familiar with Matthew?
No.
Fair enough. Yeah, she seems quite funny and stuff. But the whole interview was Josh Matthews making a joke, or the whole start of the interview was Josh Matthews saying, "Are you really from New Jersey?" And her going, Yeah. And then him asking her various questions about New Jersey and her not being able to answer them. I Googled it and she was from Canada. And I was like, what was the point of this interview? It was on Impact's official it was on Impact's official YouTube channel as well. I don't know what was going on. Strange.
Nice. I would, you probably got a good one, so I'll do my mediocre one next, so it's ignored by everybody. If they are going to do something, and they should acknowledge some of the stuff that's happened, it'd be nice to have Brian Cage come out and be like, ha ha, silly little company. Remember when I left? Ha ha. Have someone like defend the honor of Impact, like Chris Bay or Rich Swann, and be like, hey, it's rules here, we on about? Brown say, ha ha, I can't hear you all the way up here on my lofty perch. Ha ha ha.
Rules here, what you on about?
Ha ha ha. Remember when I told everyone I wasn't leaving, and then I left? Ha ha ha. Eat. So Jack, what have you got for us?
No, I was going to ask a question about yours, actually.
Oh, go on.
Because if it's against someone, you've chosen there two people who are very flippy and X Division-y, even though Rich Swann's currently the big champion, but is that deliberate? Because Brian Cage can throw them around.
Oh, absolutely. I love it when it's a flippy dude versus a big dude.
Fair.
I sometimes enjoy that more than flippy dude versus flippy dude.
Yeah.
But maybe there's just two legendary flippy dude tag teams that maybe I'd completely ignore. And I don't know.
Hang on
what's
now.
your pick, Jack?
Mine is the Young Bucks versus the Machine Guns, right? Yes, of course it is. But I wouldn't call the Machine Guns a flippy tag team. There's so much more than that.
I'm sorry.
I see them more as a fast-paced tag team. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think of the Machine Guns doing flips. I think of them doing that microphone
like that.
game. Aye.
They fall off things.
I see them running around
Every week.
double team moves, all sorts of that sort of nonsense. And I'm a big fan of the Machine Guns, obviously. So I would choose this dream match on the one condition that the Machine Guns win. But I suspect the match is going to really actually happen in real life. And I suspect that the Young Bucks are going to win. And then after the match, the Machine Guns will tell the Bucks how great they are. And I'll feel sick. And I'll not want to watch anymore. I'm sounding like one of them marks again, aren't I?
Yes.
Ross is falling asleep. Oh, he's all right.
He's doing his tax return. Oh.
What's that there?
It's John Silver.
Okay. What's he doing?
Stand to dance.
Whatever he wants.
Fair enough. Right. We've done it.
Is that it? Is that the end?
That's the end.
It's the end, everybody. We can go home. Hooray! Wow. What a
You are
fantastic... Oh, yeah. Right. Just turn around. That was the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. Ross, what have you got for us this week from Cultaholic?
I think I'm right in saying, although I'm not too sure, because Adam Pacietti's a loose cannon with his schedule on the Cultaholic Wrestling YouTube channel. I think there's a tier list ranking going live where me and he being Adam, do the Raw roster, the current Raw roster, which is going to be the first of a series of roster-related ones. Me and Sam did SmackDown earlier this week. That'll be going out soon. Me and Jack will be doing, I'm sorry to break this news to you, Jack, me and Jack will be doing the AEW roster soon.
Don't worry.
And Tom will be doing the NXT.
I've seen the schedule. It's all right.
That's all right. Me and Tom will be doing NXT, and that'll see us out on tier ranking things for the rest of 2020, so watch out for them coming soon.
Let me know when you want to shoot that, by the way. I don't really know when we're going
Is
to...
Monday fine?
Yes, we've done it. We've sorted
There you go,
it.
it's fine.
Live on the podcast.
What time on Monday?
Any time in the afternoon.
Okay.
Because I'm doing news in the morning.
1
Or anytime after like half 10. Because I'm just doing...
1 o'clock all right for you then?
One works fine for me, yes.
All right, then we'll do the 1 o'clock then.
Fantastic. Don't mind us.
It should take... I've seen the AEW roster's a bit bigger than the other ones, so it should take about like sort of two and a quarter hours to do.
Then 1 o'clock sounds spot on.
Sound.
Cheers.
Fantastic. Other than that, Jack, anything you'd like to plug that you're doing with Cultaholic?
No, I was going to plug Ross's tier list thing, but he's mentioned it already. So I'll just once again plug mine and Owen's Football Manager streams every week on Twitch at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. Also, I believe that only for a few weeks, only until the new year, Owen will be doing some Twitch streams of a Friday. So you'll have missed the one already by the time this is out. But check them out. Also at 6, I think. Just for a few weeks only. So there we go.
Ooh.
What's he doing on them?
Variety of stuff. I think this week he'll have wanted to do... It'll already have been on, but I think he wants to do Among Us this week.
Just talking about how great he is.
Yeah.
And I'm, of course, doing the Saturday stream for Cultaholic on Twitch, so we'll play games. Not be South Park 64 again, I'll tell you that much. Maybe South Park Rally. Oh, boy. I'm already excited. And maybe we'll raid somebody afterwards who's much more successful than us. Or who knows? You have to find out and click and waste your Saturday evenings, because what else are you going to do? Also, there's the Watch Along Us, going to be starting off soon. And the SmackDown Cultaholic Podcast takes its end for the year 2020. All that and more to come on the Cultaholic YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you're not already for more of this amazing content. Good God. And we now leave you the customary way. Put our hands gradually up to the webcam. Jack tries to knock his speaker off the thing for the third time.
Look at how good that bottle opener is, by the way.
Isn't that great? Wow, I wish I had one. Cultaholicshop.com. And as always, 3, 2, 1. Join us.
Join us. Sorry, person who sent in that Reese's Pieces.
Thanks, dude.
It was good. It made the segment good. Join us.
X-Men.
X-Men. Join us.